And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this special Jeff Meacham Network coverage of the draft. We are here today to wrap up the coverage that was carried out last night across Monday Night Raw and Raw Talk. To the 7 of y'all that have tuned in here this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are, we thank you. And as I continue to say we, yet I am the only person on screen right now, let me go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the man whose name is on the building, not the marquee today, the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham.
That's right. The purchase is in effect. We have bought the building. We're taking over, as you said the other day. So there you go.
That's right.
Got
Matthew in the chat room. Got our boy Josh, the Meltzer of the multiverse, if you will.
It is very early on a Tuesday, Matt. You're absolutely right, especially for my ass. I'm exhausted, but it's good. It's good exhaustion.
Josh says he's sad Ilya Dragunov didn't get drafted.
I'm not. I'm glad he's staying in NXT.
Matthew says the same, but curious by the Chase U tweet, but appears that they're staying on NXT for now.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Josh is 1,000 gajillion% okay with that because he is not a Chase U guy. And
you know what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is why you fail, Mansfield.
That's right. That is why you. That's right.
That is your next column for NoDQ.com. You need to go and investigate Chase University and go through the curriculum, the syllabus, if you will.
Yes.
Learn some teachable moments and understand the greatness that is Andre Chase, Thea Hale, Big Duke Hudson, and the rest of Chase U, baby.
Yes, and especially this week, Jay, that is why he fails.
Damn right.
Damn right, because
Matthew with an interesting point about what's going on with all the tag titles. They're all on Raw, except the NXT women's titles, which is on SmackDown.
Okay, well, Mr. Cynicism yesterday was like, oh, what's the point? It's like, they can probably still compete on both shows till they lose the titles, just like the original draft, but,
Well, I mean, they are the undisputed champions, so as long as they are continuing with Raw and SmackDown tag team titles, you would think those belts could be defended on Raw and SmackDown.
But again, when we're reacting immediately to things, we have to be Mr. Cynical guys so we can get our viewpoints up. Right, boss?
Yeah. And Josh points out, remember that the draft doesn't go into effect until after Backlash. Sure, Triple H has this all figured out. Or at the very least, split them at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Which, again, we've already got the Sammy problem with Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's how you do it is you do 2 title matches.
Right.
Have them defend the Raw belts. Have them defend the SmackDown belts. And lose one.
It's not hard to book, just hard to finance.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'll say it till I die. Swear to God.
Josh saying, few decisions puzzled me, but otherwise I like the results. I agree. We will get into that once we cover everyone that was drafted.
Because it's going to take a minute.
We will definitely come back to that. I'm going to star that, Josh, because I have a feeling this is going to be a long one.
Right.
Between the 2 streams that Noah and I, and the second one had Jeff as well, did for the SmackDown, we went about 3.5 hours.
Right.
There were 31 draft picks named over both shows.
Yes.
We have 10 extra draft picks for this show to cover. So we got 41 draft picks we're going through. Got a feeling we're going to be here for a minute.
And here's the funny part about that. So we got roughly 70-something people drafted total over the course of the 2 presentations by WWE. How those other people feel that weren't even mentioned at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Aaron made a great point last night. I'll totally give him the love for this. Brock Lesnar's a free agent. He negotiated his contract. Yeah, well, so is bum-ass Corbin. So is freaking Cedric and Shelton.
I was going to get to that. Don't get ahead of me here, Meacham.
I'm sorry.
Your name may be on the building. Your name may be on the building, but don't get ahead of me.
I'm getting ahead of the punchline. Sorry, I apologize.
Tornado said that the background music or the theme music from my Renegade of Wrestling thing sounds like an old ECW type of feel. Yeah. That's kind of what I was going for. I wanted to find a song for the video that sounded wrestling.
Yes.
That could be like an entrance theme or something. So that's totally what I went for.
And if they're talking
ECW in the building.
Oh, Mikey's here. If you're talking about ECW, they didn't care about copyrights either. So I guess, YouTube's going to get us like WWE got ECW. So it's all good.
What is going on, Tornado?
Tornado.
Yes, that was all me, Stat Boy. That was all me.
Just show Stat Boy is clearly watching all our shows because we've had that up for a couple of days now, but that's okay.
Just not his own.
Just not.
Oh, that's right, Matthew.
That's
Chase,
right. Throw it up.
I'm a proud graduate of Chase U.
Throw it up after that teachable moment for Mikey. That's perfect. Good segue. Good segue. By the way, Stat Boy Sports Parts today at 7 o'clock each 4 Pacific. Since we're ragging on it, I might as well promote his shit too.
So.
Oh, it's going to be
shall
a long
we get
morning,
into this? Considering how many we've got to go through here this afternoon, morning.
Kidding, right? Oh my God.
All right.
Let's be some straight with Sherry Lewis shit. The show that never ends.
So Triple H came out to start the broadcast, as he did for SmackDown.
As he do.
He made sure to point out that everyone that was not drafted over the course of SmackDown and SmackDown Lowdown was eligible, as well as certain NXT talents, just like the last time.
Yes.
However, the one name that wasn't eligible to be drafted,
right,
due to contract renegotiations, was Brock Lesnar, who is a free agent.
Yeah, because Brock's got that mad contract skills like that.
Yeah, I mean, at first announcement, okay, we've got Omos as a free agent. He's a spectacle. He's a special attraction. We've got Brock, who's a free agent. He's a spectacle. He's a special attraction. Like, okay, we've got Dolph Ziggler, who, we know why he's a free agent, because of his comedy and everything.
Yes.
So with a couple of head scratches, most notably being Von Wagner and Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
The free agency still seems okay at this point. And we will get to the other free agents later in the day, because I try to go as they were announced.
Which is appreciated, I'm sure.
So chat room, let's try not to get too far ahead of ourselves. I do have some of your comments starred as we get to those people.
Yes.
But the first draft pick made on Raw was the SmackDown Women's Champion, Mommy herself, Rhea Ripley. So now, of course, this begs the question, do we just do a title switch handoff at Backlash? Or do we possibly do what I've been talking about for a little minute here and do a title unification at Night of Champions and just have the women's champion travel between both brands?
Yeah, it's I hate the idea of a title swap, because Bianca's reign has been so long and so dominant, and then they're gonna just freaking like, okay, so you're not the champion anymore, but you still get to hold a championship because you're on a different brand. Like, stuff like that, as high up as both of them were drafted, and that's awesome that both champions were drafted so early in their respective nights. Like, it just reeks of, okay, we wanted to make a ooh-ah moment, but now, oh wait, they're champions. Shit, what do we do? Like, that's how it comes off. And that's a good point too, Josh, but they could have easily done that with Becky and Charlotte and didn't do it that way then. And again, different person at the top of the management food chain at that point, and I don't not acknowledge that, but again, the worst part about wrestling fans is wrestling fans, and we're all too cynical. We all want what we want it right now, and we don't have the answers. And I just want to know. And Josh, you're putting a lot of stock in Triple H being smart enough to not do that stupidity, because.
Hello, Hassan.
We assume an awful lot based on what we've been given.
Ratnick with the hot take, barely 15 minutes in.
He's not
really
wrong.
Makes the titles feel like props. Whether they are or aren't, they shouldn't be treated like it.
Yeah, they should. And again, this is me, looking back over 20 years. This is me between the draft history and my own history doing, covering this craziness, and 30 years of fandom.
Yeah.
the champion should get special exemption. And I don't mean just the world champion because he's Roman freaking Reigns. I mean, if you are a champion, you should have some sort of, okay, I can't be drafted unless concession A, B, whatever. You know, if I'm Rhea Ripley and I'm the SmackDown Women's Champion, if I'm drafted to Raw, there has to be some sort of clear, defined, this is how it's going to be for my championship reign once this shit takes effect on Monday. And again, we all want instant gratification as a wrestling fan, which I think is, you know, depending on what it is, it's a little bit too entitled, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. We got a lot to cover. And I'm like babbling. I'm sorry.
No. It's all valid points because we knew this was going to be a touchy subject if in fact it happened.
Yeah,
which it did.
Yeah.
You know, again, I think back to the 2002 draft where the world champion and the women's champion were able to travel between shows.
Right.
And then you had ICUS.
Yeah.
Tag. You know.
Well,
so it was defined for the mid card.
Yeah.
But the world champion was a traveling champion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Roman Reigns has limited dates in his contracts. And for whatever reason, there's now talk about him being Hogan's 1400 something day reign. And it's like, that just doesn't look good anymore.
That's a whole other year. Once
we get to 1,000, that needs to be the end of it, because pushing this for another year with him already doing limited dates is just not a good look. You've got him Roman 2 belts, possibly Roman 3 belts, the way Paul E's trying to tease it.
Right.
And he's not a fighting champion.
No.
However, Bianca and Mommy are fighting champions.
Yes.
They're going to be there. So if you unify those belts, whoever wins it,
right,
you know they're going to be a fighting champion coming out to both Raw and SmackDown.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. You mentioned during the initial draft there were a separate tag. That wasn't a thing until 6 months in.
I know. So
that shows me that they didn't have a clear, like, okay, well, we do the tag champions in March of 2002 or April, whatever, you know, but when the draft went into effect, it's like, and, you know, we'll get to the tag champions here momentarily on both sides of the things. So it just seems like they're trying to generate discussion, but they seem like they, at least on the important fronts to me as a hardcore fan, don't really have a clear path forward.
As far as Josh and Matthew go,
yeah,
heed my words. I have been preaching since WrestleMania. July 7th, the SmackDown after Money in the Bank. They are at Madison Square Garden. The entire story that Cody started began with Dusty thinking he won, but not winning the WWF Championship at Madison Square Garden. The story for Cody began with that picture of Dusty on the turnbuckle holding the WWF Championship in the air at Madison Square Garden. Oh, that's stupid. Why would you do it on a SmackDown? TV ratings are going to go up. Live attendance is going to go up because you get the feeling again that world title changes can happen at Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. Fox will love that shit.
Yeah, big time.
Fox, they're going in to renegotiate their TV deal before the end of next year. Oh, I'm sorry, was that out loud? Oops.
Hello, Carl. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
exactly. Matthew, the ratings for that show would be insane.
Especially if your theory holds true and he calls his shot on Raw. If he wins the briefcase or wins the contract that the briefcase contains, because I'm trying to use verbiage that actually makes damn sense. Win the briefcase, like you cash in the briefcase, no, you cash in the contract. Jeff, relax. And he comes into Monday Night Raw and goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this Friday, man." Ratings go up. Tickets that aren't sold for the Garden, which the Garden doesn't always sell out.
Exactly. People talk about how Cody being a babyface needs to not do the sneak run-in cash-in thing.
Case don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So perfect. He comes out on Raw. He announces, Roman Reigns, I'll see you at the Garden.
Yep.
And
think about the two.
Like Jeff just said, people are going to tune in now to SmackDown more than they would to see if the story ends, because Corey Graves is going to push that shit on commentary.
Yes.
Triple H will be in his ear. Dude, hype the show the footage, show the video, throw back to that. We need to hype this. Corey Graves will do his push. Like Jeff said, tickets that aren't already sold out will sell.
Yep.
It's going to be nuts. Mark my words.
And you know what? JJ will be the first to sit here and tell you if he's wrong, he'll come on the air
and I'll admit
it. And he'll acknowledge it. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I will come on the air for open mic night on the 7th or the 8th, because that would be the 7th. I'll come on the air on the 8th, and I will admit that I was wrong.
Yep.
But moving on, because we spent way too much time on that one. Just talking about Roman Reigns when we should have been talking about mommy.
Yeah, Great picture, by the way. That's actually one I had picked out. So there you go. Good stuff.
So the next draft pick made by Triple H sent the United States champion Austin Theory to SmackDown.
Which just makes sense. So
yeah, I mean, we had a good feeling once Gunther and Imperium moved to Raw that Theory was going to go to SmackDown. But I really like this because you think about the United States title in WWE history, and it all started on SmackDown.
It did.
You think about Eddie Guerrero. You think about MVP. You think about John Cena and his rise to dominance.
Yep.
You think about Carlito as we head into Backlash this weekend in Puerto Rico.
Right.
The United States champion was SmackDown.
Yeah.
So seeing the title come home, in a sense, to the blue brand is awesome.
It is.
As we will get to, as we go through the name, Theory's now got some great challengers.
Yes, he does. And I like the idea of both of the quote unquote mid-card championships getting fresh infusion of challengers, because Gunther's been the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of the 21st century, but it's kind of been sparse challengers wise. So,
because they've been trying to make the IC title important. I feel like Triple H is trying to get back to the way it was in the olden days, where the champion only had to defend the title once every 30 days.
Right.
Instead of defending it every week on television.
Right, exactly. That's how it should be.
So I feel like that's why his title reign and his defenses have been so sparse.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel that he had ran the course on his challengers on SmackDown. We all said last week that him coming to Raw, they needed to do this if he's going to surpass the honky tonky meter, which, considering how big of a Walter fanatic Triple H is, you can almost bet money on the fact that he's going to do that.
It would be really cool, because people feel how they feel about honky, good and bad, and they seem to universally love Gunther. So I'm here for that. And Theory, how much higher do you go as a Raw-based U.S. champion than defeating John frickin' Cena at WrestleMania? Yeah. You don't. So it's like, switch brands, fresh stuff.
Yeah, Gunther's only got about 4 more months, because September 8th, which is a Friday, a SmackDown, will be 455 days.
Yep.
Honky's record is 454.
Yeah, September 8th, another important milestone in my family, like July 7th. It's my parents' anniversary. There you go.
So the next announcement that was made by Triple H, the Monday Night Messiah stays on Raw.
No surprise there at all.
Yeah. Once Becky was drafted, we knew Seth was going to stay put because they've been really trying to keep the couples together.
Well, yeah, once we knew that, and once we knew for a fact that Roman was going to be SmackDown bound and that the World Championship was going to be a Raw exclusive thing, and the working theory, not Austin, is that, you know, Rollins is going to be at least in heavy contention for that new World Championship. It's like, okay, well, it just makes sense.
Josh over here.
Absolutely. Always. Oh, by the way, you and I were talking off air last night about YouTube copywriting kicking in after the fact. I've had the video of his entrance from WrestleMania that I shot up for since WrestleMania. They just now blocked it.
Of course.
Just now. Now, granted, it wasn't like visible for the public. It was just for me so I could, you know, reference it later. But yeah, they just now blocked it. It's what, May 2nd? Yeah. YouTube is on the ball.
Which, with it being May 2nd, somebody pointed it out in the comments earlier. Happy 51st birthday to the most electrifying man in all of Hollywood.
Yes.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes.
If you want to see us dote and love on The Rock, go into the archives. Last year, we did the top 10 Dwayne Johnson movies and the top 10 Rock matches.
Yes.
Both on Dad's Not Always on Wrestling for our May episodes. So go back into the archives, check those out, support them, see what we talked about there.
I'll be linking those later. I meant to do this morning and just completely forgot.
Yes. So the last draft pick that Triple H announced.
Yes.
Staying on SmackDown, the Queen, Charlotte Flair. And let me just say something here real quick, Jeff, before you start talking.
Okay.
As you know, I've been watching the DVDs of the Black and Gold NXT.
Yes, you have.
If I had seen that Charlotte prior to my exposure to Charlotte,
yes,
I don't think I would be as big of a Charlotte hater as I am.
Good. Glad to hear you say that.
Because I'm seeing some of the matches she had in the Black and Gold NXT and how humble she came off in the Black and Gold NXT. And I'm liking that.
Right.
The problem is I was exposed to this first.
Right.
And it's a hard taste to get out of your mouth.
Yeah. I totally understand.
For those of you that grew up with her in the Black and Gold NXT, and that's why you love her, I can understand why you love her.
Thank you. Good.
I'm just not going to waver anytime soon because I was exposed to a different presentation of her.
Yes.
And it just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. Having seen Ashley debut as Charlotte, granted, with Nate introducing her, let's not even front, but seeing her develop into the talent she has become has been gratifying as a fan to watch because her father was so revered. Her father was such a huge part of my fandom, especially the end of his WWE in-ring career and how much that weekend meant to me and to my father being there together. To see Charlotte, develop into the superstar she has developed into has been awesome for me as a fan. Now, I will say, I was surprised to see her mentioned, as I was surprised to see Drew McIntyre mentioned on Friday. Whoo! There's no H, folks. I'm telling you. I've been saying that for 25 or however long I've been a fan. There is no H in whoo! It's woo! Every time I saw a sign, I'd be like, knock that H off. Jackass. Anyway, I was surprised to see both her and Drew mentioned because, she's off whatever time she's taking off for whatever reason other than to post pictures on Instagram, which I'm not complaining about whatsoever. Considering where she's vacationing, all the things, Ash, keep going. You do you. Well, Andrade too, but that's y'all's business. Drew, who has been, in the talk of, is he staying? Is he going? Is he, whatever. Like, nope, he's on Raw. So I think that was a statement by the company for both. Like, by the way, they're still here, and we want to make sure you know that they're here.
That's fair.
Good stuff.
To Josh's comment about Charlotte versus Bianca, yes, but Bianca has to win.
Yes.
Bianca has to win at a major show, so at least SummerSlam.
Right.
That way she has beaten all 4 horsewomen at major shows. Sasha and Becky at Mania, Bayley and Charlotte at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Has to.
And to Josh's other comments, what the hell channel you watching where I got to keep it PG? Look, dude, right. I want the building. I can do what the fuck I want.
So then that was the end of the Triple H segment.
First round, yes.
We then did shenanigans on the show that we don't care enough about to discuss here because this is draft focused.
You want to watch that? Watch Aaron's recap. He talked about that.
Yeah, watch Aaron's recap.
Yeah, we encourage that, by the way.
Absolutely. So we came back for the next round of draft picks, and we had King Booker and Queen Sharmell.
So good seeing Sharmell, man.
I wish they had used the King Booker music since they announced her as Queen Sharmell.
Right.
But
well, no, because if Booker would have done the whole thing as the voice and said King Booker, I was like, no, just announce a pick. Stop. So I'm okay with it for a little bit.
That's fair. So Booker T announced that staying on Raw, however you want to look at it,
yes,
are the undisputed tag team champions, Steen Jericho.
And Sami Zayn
and Kevin Owens.
Yes, and Sammy's apparently piercing blue eyes who are like staring through that red belt like, I don't eat you. I'm just saying, he looks like he's going to like devour that belt, dude. Sammy's into that shit. Good for him.
Meanwhile,
yes,
Queen Sharmell announced that staying on SmackDown are the Usos.
Now, this one surprised me, Jay. What about you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. The way they've kind of been teasing the tension within the bloodline, I think it would have been easy.
Yeah.
To draft them to Raw.
Right.
I think keeping them on SmackDown is the better way to go because we can have the bloodline fall apart and crumble and possibly the resurrection of main event Jey Uso.
Right.
To be a viable contender once again to the tribal chief.
Yeah.
But what I really find interesting about this, and I really hope this gets touched on, we all know the people that used to reside in this building that we've taken over pay attention to the product. So if you're watching, take your notepad out, get your pen, write this down, okay? George Strait style, write this down. Take a little note. I hope to God they acknowledge the fact that the Usos got drafted so late in the game.
Oh, yeah.
They were the number 37 overall draft pick when you factor everything that happened on SmackDown. They weren't drafted with Roman and Solo and Paul. They weren't even number 1 pick for SmackDown on Raw. They were the 3rd pick on Raw for SmackDown.
Yeah. Yep.
What kind of an ego crush is that to somebody like Jey Uso, who has laid it all on the line for his tribal chief for the last 2 years? To not be drafted at least first on Raw,
right?
Going to SmackDown,
right?
He wasn't part of the pool for the other half of the draft, so we can give a little bit of a pass there. But why wasn't the entire bloodline in the same pool?
Yep.
This has to be acknowledged on television and used to further the story.
Yeah. And when you saw what happened later in Raw, since we're not going to cover Raw as far as the recap, the whole, oh yeah, take the room, you're good. And Jay's like, condescending mucker fucker, like what the hell? So it's like there's definitely cracks in that foundation. Not a doubt in my mind. Ryan, this surprised me too, but we'll get to one of those in particular later because I thought sure there was going to be at least some sort of tease of a breakup. Yeah, Backlash will be a very telling tale going into next Monday and the draft going into effect because there's so many implications across that card that are affected by the draft or that the draft will affect, after the fact.
Yeah. So then Booker makes his next announcement.
Yes.
And announces that the trio of Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio will be staying on Raw with Mommy.
Yes.
The Judgment Day remains intact. Kind of interesting that they didn't draft them all as a force, though. They drafted Rhea and then the trio separately. Kind of found that a little bit interesting. But at least the unit is staying intact on Raw. And I think that's nothing but upside because honestly, the only person, not counting Rhea, that I can really see succeeding on their own at this point is Balor. Priest and Dom really need the unit. Dom especially has really started to thrive since joining Judgment Day. And a lot of that is his tag team work with Priest, in my opinion.
Yep.
Maybe if they splintered off and Priest and Dom stayed as a tag team, maybe it would be okay. But Dom is benefiting so much learning from Balor.
Yes.
Having Priest at his side to help him in matches. And then, of course, his association with Mommy. Yeah. And Priest, I feel like, was seriously floundering prior to Edge's recruiting him into the Judgment Day #1 draft pick, if you will, and starting the stable.
Yeah.
He really needs this unit as well, at least for another year.
Yeah, Priest was another one of those that was doing fairly well. I won't say very well, but he was doing fairly well in NXT before he got called up, and then he was just kind of there on Raw until Edge stepped in. And again, people forget it's only been a year for Judgment Day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And yes, I agree with Josh's comment here 100%. The main event got cut. I mean, Natalie and I were watching the East Coast feed of Raw together, but on social. What happened? What the main event? It just cut abruptly. It was just gone. That was it. That was the end of the show. So, and that was because the promo for Judgment Day took so long because, again, Dom will learn. There's difference between, letting the crowd, get getting the heat and then just running long. That was real. And again, it was a great, great moment for him, but it was like, okay, Dom, come on.
Yeah. They don't need to split them up yet.
No,
they are gold together.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They are so. This may be blasphemous to say, but Dom and Rhea on television is as much fucking gold as Eddie and China.
No, it is. No, you're absolutely right. And
fucking gold.
It is. And it's so unexpectedly so. That's why you keep it going.
Yeah, it's organic.
Yeah, exactly.
It is organic. Like, we know Rhea's got Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
We know Dom has his wife.
Yeah.
But they just gel so well organically.
Yes.
That you need to keep this rolling.
Yeah.
Speaking of keeping it rolling, speaking of keeping groups together, the LWO. Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Zelina Vega all remain on SmackDown.
I am liking these 5 talents, even Rey, getting this more TV time and more exposure and merch residuals, because Lord knows the LWO shirts are selling. But Aaron made a very valid point last night that I kind of trolled on during the chat. They're becoming the loser world order. They don't win.
To be fair, the LWO and WCW were jobbers too for the most part.
This is not the way to acknowledge the fact that you don't agree with WCW's booking strategy for these people.
I'm just saying, I have a feeling what's going to end up happening here is they're going to keep taking these L's.
Right.
And Santos is going to get tired of it.
Okay.
And he's going to turn heel on Ray.
Right.
Because now that Ray and Dom are officially separated again,
yes,
you lose that angle.
Yeah, true.
Now you've got to have somebody else to feud against Ray.
Yeah.
And it may not happen immediately, but I have a feeling that by SummerSlam, we're going to have Santos and Mysterio.
And when you
think like we discussed on Open Mic Night, which you weren't here for, if the events of Twitter last week with Chavo Guerrero,
oh God, yes,
potentially lead to him coming back to take the LWO over to have another one more run Chavo Ray feud, that could be what helps take the LWO to the winning ways.
Yes. Pardon my hypocrisy again on Mikey's case for not watching everything, but me unable to watch Open Mic Night yet because I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But what was the consensus on Chavo? As far as
the industry.
Okay. All right.
With the exception of this man right here, who had quite the heated diatribe for Chavito.
Oh, did he now? Okay.
Until I got my opportunity to really speak and laid everything out on the table, to which he kind of conceded.
So I don't disagree with Chavito being a vet, and I don't, and what that entails. I still maintain he stepped in it and tracked it in the house and then went, oh shit, I better mop this up.
See, and that's essentially what Josh thought. But I tend to disagree.
I know.
I tend to disagree, and Noah and James pretty much sided with me.
Right.
So, yeah.
It definitely would have been an interesting discussion, because I probably would have sided with Josh and planted my flag in the sand and been like, no. Like, Chavo messed up, and he knew he messed up. So he's like, oh shit, okay, well there you go. Don't get too hot in your sauce there, Mansfield. Just relax. You got one. Okay, just relax, brother.
I highly recommend going back and watching at least that segment of Open Mic Night and seeing how it all played out, and then you can give your retort.
I will
this week, post Backlash, if you so desire.
Yeah, because I will be there this week. So perfect.
So then we carried on. We were going to have Shawn Michaels and Adam Pearce announce the next round, but Brock came out and did Brock things, and so we ended up having HBK Solo announce the next 4 picks. Not Han Solo, but just HBK Solo.
I mean, it is a week for Han Solo, so why not?
Hence the reason I threw the joke in there, Jim.
Yeah, I know.
So the first people that HBK announces as being official Raw are the women's tag team champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who I have to give mad props to. Even though I'm waiting for her to turn heel and stop smiling so much, got to give her mad props for her Selena-inspired outfit last night.
Right?
That was so good. I had already seen the internet buzzing about it prior to Raw going on the air for me.
Yes.
So when I saw her come out in it, I was like, you go, girl.
Right.
You go. That was so awesome. I hope that they do an action figure of her in that outfit, because I will snap it up.
Hell yeah. I like the highlight on the names that subscribe. Sorry, I saw Arlene's comment. I'm totally freaking being ADD scroll moment here. But I'm like, oh, it has a green highlight because she's a paid member. That's awesome. I dig
Yes.
that. Anyway, yeah, that means all the tag titles are like, guys, you undisputed. When the women's tag titles were established, it was firmly, concisely stated they will travel.
Yes.
Relax.
Let me go ahead and acknowledge Arlene on the air.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being the first person to subscribe to the members only section of my Casa D18 Studios channel.
Yes.
Greatly appreciate that, Arlene.
That's right.
As far as no Roxanne Perez or Braun Breaker being called up, which spoiler alert for the rest of the names we've got to get through, Roxanne surprised me. Braun did not. And the reason why Braun didn't, well, everybody thought he was a shoo-in to get drafted. He just turned heel.
Right.
Give him at least 6 months to work on his heel persona to see if he's a good dominant heel or if he should go back to being babyface. Draft him next year.
Exactly.
The heel turn is just too fresh for him. Figure he turned the NXT after Stand and Deliver, so he's been heel for a month,
right?
And he hasn't really had any big time matches since being heel.
Yes,
got to give it time to let him bubble and boil.
Right.
But Roxanne definitely surprised the shit out of me, Arlene.
Yeah, and as far as the other part of her comment, when we get to that tag team that was drafted, I have quite a retort. So
that's fair. That's fair.
We'll get there. Not against Arlene, like against the company, for the record. Right. Yeah.
So then the next pick that Shawn Michaels announced, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, is on SmackDown.
See, this one feels like oh yeah, by the way, she's still here. For me.
Maybe. You know, no, you're perfectly fine, Arlene, for going off topic. You know, it's all good. There's no real rhyme or reason to this other than the fact that we're going through the draft picks in the order they were announced.
Right.
And since neither of those people were announced, it was okay to get it in right then. So you're good. Don't worry.
You're good.
Asuka, I kind of feel where you're coming from, but what I've noticed is that they really stacked, I feel, SmackDown with the better women's competition.
I'll agree with that.
I mean, that's to take nothing away from Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and some of the other names that are on Raw.
Right.
You know, Rhea Ripley. But you've got Bianca, you've got Charlotte, you've got Asuka, you've got Damage Control, you've got Zelina Vega, you know, you've got other people we haven't gotten to yet. You know, I feel like you've got the A-list women's talent on SmackDown.
Which, you know, maybe.
So having Asuka over there, I feel that benefits her better.
Oh, no, like I said, it definitely benefits her and the division overall. It's just she's not been mentioned pretty much at all since Mania.
The only downside is, much like Damage Control, Asuka has already had her shots at Bianca.
Exactly.
That was my new competitors, and it seems like Bianca's getting a lot of the same ones.
Yeah, and you know, part of the knock on Bianca's reign is that she's faced the same people,
but that's not Bianca's fault. That's
not saying it is
Brooklyn's fault.
Yeah, very much so, but that's unfortunately it's predetermined. It's kayfabe. When
we know.
No, I know you know. I'm being funny for the crowd. When you have a champion or a top star who's been partially criticized and critiqued in a negative way for having repetition in their challenge pool, and then you book the same shit, it's like you're not helping your champion at all. And they're not, because if she's going to remain a champion, on her new brand and she's facing the same people, it's like, well, why we move her?
Yeah.
What was the point?
That's fair. The next name that Shawn Michaels announced, coming over to the Raw brand, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, Big E less.
Yes.
The New Day.
Well, go ahead.
You know, I had heard grumblings and rumors that Big E may make his big return for the draft.
Yeah.
This is really the only stable that broke up in the draft because, granted, Big E's out on injury, but they didn't announce Big E as part of the draft. They didn't say the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E Langston. They just said Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. That would lead me to believe that upon his return, Big E would be a free agent. Could that lead to Big E coming back and rejoining his brethren? Or going to SmackDown and turning into a monster heel?
I think we're guilty of what I was guilty of this weekend on the personal side and just overthinking things. I think that Big E is still injured enough where WWE doesn't want to necessarily say, hey, by the way, he's still on contract and he'll be on this show when he comes back. We just don't want to, put it out there in case he can't come back. You notice Randy Orton's diagnosis went from he's never going to do anything again to end of the year he could be back. E's recovery has been slow going. And with that kind of injury, it has to be slow going. You have to make sure there's a big difference between going to the gym 2 weeks after you're injured and working out every time you can since then and getting in the ring and running the ropes and doing the things. And then a bigger difference even still from going out there and doing it on the regular. So I personally thought my first thought was, okay, they don't want to put E out there in case things go south again for him. So same thing with Randy. Neither one of them were mentioned over the course of the weekend. So I think that was a conscious decision to go, okay, their futures are still in doubt. Let's not call attention to it.
That's fair.
But again, I would love E to get a run as, he was a very overlooked, underappreciated WWE champion. I wouldn't like that if I was him.
Right.
I would come back like I was only overlooked and underappreciated because I was set up with Heckle and Jekyll here. Lay those assholes out and be like, all right, come at me now. So,
or since people like MVP and Omos are free agents, maybe Big E uniting with them.
Well, we'll talk about the free agency stuff when we get to the Raw talk part of the show, because
that's why I only talked about the ones that have already been announced and covered.
Well, no, I understand that's why you're doing it, but the fact that that's a topic of discussion, it's like, yeah, if things stay the way they stayed. No, Carl, that's a bad Carl. You stop that. Put you on timeout. Okay, so TJ's is definitely, and you know what though? He's still training. He's still in that the new family dungeon down there in Tampa doing the things. Is he ready for a road schedule? No, and he will never be. That's just the nature of what happened to TJ. John's freaking cyborg. Okay, is what it is. Edge and Saraya and even Steve Austin have all been benefits of medical technology advancing.
I like that, Emmanuel. I like that.
I do too. Again, nowhere near as grand a scale as what we're talking about, but I liken it to Rikishi in the 2000 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Doing the dance, throwing Brian in front out like, look, dog, title shot. Love you guys, but no.
Yeah. And then the last name that HBK announced.
Yes.
Friday nights will remain fight night
Yes.
as the Brawling Brutes stay on SmackDown.
Officially separating them from both Imperium and from Drew, which I think was so needed.
Yeah.
I really do.
Like, I love me some Drew, but I feel like Sheamus and Drew teaming together just put Sheamus in Drew's shadow.
And completely undervalued or devalued rather Pete and Ridge. Yeah, completely made them useless. And Ridge is ready enough shit as it is with the fandom. So
I wouldn't say completely made them useless, because at the end of the day, you then had 2 tag teams in the Brawling Brutes.
Well,
you had Pete Dunne, Butch, and Ridge, and you had Sheamus and Drew, the Banner brothers. Hey, I'm not the one that gave them that name, okay?
It is too early on Tuesday for that. Again, yes, but they weren't pushed as such.
Yes.
On television. You and I, oh yeah, we'll sit there and book that shit and whatever, and it's great. But at the end of the day, it was Drew and Sheamus and Ridge and Butch. That's what it was.
Not hard to book. It's just hard to finance. And the people that owned this building have more than enough money to finance it. So it comes down to the shouldn't be hard to book.
But the fact that
apparently it is for them.
I was going to say, I bought the building, so it couldn't have been that much. Yeah. Anyway, this is the gimmick's getting silly. Okay.
So then we took some more commercials, had some more shenanigans for Raw.
Yes.
And we had the unlikely duo of Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam,
who on his way out looking at the card different directions, like, he saw the shit this weekend. He knew what's up.
And Easy Eric Bischoff.
So good to see E. I was so happy.
Doing the announcement for this set.
Yes.
And
can't wait to raise your weeks this week just to hear him talk about it.
The first name that Eric Bischoff announced surprised me.
Yes.
I didn't realize this person was going to be in the draft.
Oh.
Trish Stratus.
Oh, yeah. She made a big deal about it on social media.
So Raw is getting a heavy dose of Stratusfaction.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you for making the draft relevant, because Raw drafted Becky Lynch, and that bitch is sitting on the sidelines on a freaking milk carton missing for 3 weeks. But right. Trish is in, and she's on Raw, and good for WWE and good for Raw making the right choice. Ooh, I like it.
See, Carl, slightly off topic here because we've moved past Cody and everything. That was the other day, and we did have a brief talk about Roman in the beginning.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the fact that the Garden is less than a week after Money in the Bank, I wouldn't be all about Cody winning Money in the Bank.
Right.
Because you've got LA Knight. Yeah.
Yes.
You've got, we're going to get into these names later, but you've got Grayson Waller. You've got JD McDonough. You've got Walter. You've got a bunch of great candidates for Money in the Bank. Solo included.
Yeah.
But the way to finish the story, Cody needs the briefcase.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. I will say, though, I'm imagining Gunther in the Money in the Bank ladder match and a lot of Regal-esque chests at the end of that match. And Josh, as you should be. We should all be thanking Trish Stratus on the regular.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. I agree. She's the trailblazer. She's the one that, and her promo, however rocky it was not wrong. She's the one that totally changed everything. So I'm here for it. And yes, Lita was not mentioned during the draft. She wasn't eligible because well, she's laid up with an injury because Trish don't whoop that ass. So, it's what it is, kids. I'm being a real dick, but I really don't care. Anyway, damn, Arlene with the heavy feels right in the friggin' spinal cord.
Josh here with the hot take. I want a no DQ debate between JJ and Virtue on Cody Rhodes and finishing the story. I'm game. I'm game. Talk to Rift. Talk to Virtue.
Yeah.
Make it happen, Mansfield. You're the Meltzer of the multiverse.
That's right.
Make the story come true.
That's right. Make your stories actually really, unlike Dave's. Ooh, I'm sorry. That was a little low blow, wasn't it there, Mr. Meltzer?
That was one of the things that actually kind of puzzled me about the surprise people doing the drafts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so you got Eric Bischoff, who was the general manager of Raw for years and years.
Right.
And you've got RVD, who's Mr. Monday Night.
Yeah.
But RVD's got to do SmackDown.
Right.
And then you had JBL, the longest reigning SmackDown champion, and Teddy Long, the former GM of SmackDown. Like, why not have Bischoff and Teddy and RVD and JBL?
Because it's funnier to put Ron with John or John with Teddy because, road partners and, giggling to themselves on stage.
I understand the intricacies behind it, but, it's like, it's not hard to book. It's hard to finance.
Hey, you know what? It ain't harder to finance Robbie in there. Just make sure you can read the card properly, and throw him a little something at the end of the show. He's good to go.
Right.
Bischoff, you got to talk to Conrad Thompson now because he's hot shit now.
So RVD's first announced draft pick.
Oh, that's right. We're still doing the draft stuff.
Karrion Kross and Scarlett
together, which is good.
Yes, even though RVD botched and only announced Karrion Kross, and then you heard him kind of like under his breath, "Oh yeah, and Scarlett."
And Scarlett. That's okay. Bischoff botched even worse on a name here in a minute. Oh.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did. I love Eric, but oh man, that was rough. Damn it. The legacy of that promo will never die. Ever, ever, ever. Oh, Lord. Poor John. I know people hate on Bradshaw for the bullyism, right, Natalie? But,
That's right. That's bullyism. Can't buy the shirt.
That's right. Not yet. We're working on it.
That shirt so far is one of a kind.
And we're tied back to the drafts. There we go. Good stuff. Good
so
segue.
Bischoff's next draft picks is the team that I have dubbed the baddest bitches on the planet.
Hell yes.
Shayna Baszler and Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Shayna Baszler, as we heard Eric Bischoff say. Oh, God. Jay. Conrad's going to light him up like a Christmas tree for that shit. It's going to be a thing.
As well,
that's right. Like, damn it. You're supposed to, we don't talk about current stuff on our shows, but if you're going to be on this show, damn it. Pretty sad the only wrestling fan that watches everything on the regular is Jeff Jarrett. Just saying.
Right. And then the last name for this portion of the draft, and again, kind of surprised me a little bit, but RVD announced that SmackDown was going to keep L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
I was so hoping he'd come to Raw.
Really?
That he would be in that tournament for the new World Heavyweight Championship, because I have been reading reports that post-Mania, L.A. Knight, our buddy Sean Ricker, is supposed to start getting a monster push.
Yeah.
I think even if he lost, just him being in that tournament for the World Heavyweight Championship would start that monster push.
True.
And then start building his story that could then come to fruition next year at Mania, next year at SummerSlam. Yeah. With the proper storytelling and seed planting and cultivation.
Yeah.
I think keeping him on SmackDown, where as of right now, the best he can hope for is dethroning Austin Theory.
I say Matt
is a
makes the point
mistake.
there in the chat room there. LA Knight versus Austin Theory, LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, who we'll talk about later. LA Knight versus
Like I asked earlier, let's try not to get too ahead of the
right.
people. We're going in order of draft picks, so
Right, but the people he mentioned who are going to be, who have been drafted, I am here for all those matches, especially knowing how awesome Sean Ricker is and knowing how awesome those guys mentioned can be. So I'm here for it. Damn.
no, Daniel, that's a bad Daniel.
But you on
Ronda
time
Rousey is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Carl, that's 2 for you because you agree with Daniel. I'm gonna put you on timeout. Third strike, motherfucker. Telling you what. Oh God, no.
I don't think he could dethrone Reigns, Arlene. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my buddy Sean Ricker, LA Knight. Yeah. He's not going to be the one to go after Reigns and dethrone him.
Yeah.
Like I said, the best he could hope for right now is U.S. champ against Theory.
Yes.
On Raw, he could be going after that world heavyweight title. And I feel like it's just a shame that he doesn't get that opportunity now.
Right.
Emmanuel with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Emmanuel. Maybe it's LA Knight's story to finish. LOL.
That would be the only option besides Cody that I would be 100% okay with and pop, because Sean Ricker as the WWE champion, yes, please. I'm here for that shit. And somewhere in the great funeral parlor in the sky, there'll be a big oh yes when that 3 count goes down. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to impersonate because Percy already got on my case for that once. All those years ago.
Unfortunately, he can't get on my case for doing it.
Oh, don't underestimate the power of Paul Bearer.
This is fair.
I'm just saying he will. The next thing you know, CJ just goes, "Oh, we lost JJ." So be careful. There's clearly some heavy duty supernatural DNA there. You got Undertaker, you got Kane. It's don't mess with shit you don't want to mess with, Jay.
That's fair.
SmackDown. You know what? Yes. LA Knight's still a major star on a major network. Push that shit. Absolutely.
So then we did another commercial, more television shenanigans.
Yes.
And we came back with another duo that I feel like they really missed a golden opportunity on.
Right.
Because we had the Road Dogg Jesse James and Molly Holly.
So good seeing Nora, though, right?
Right. But correct me if I'm wrong, isn't one Hurricane Helms also an agent? Couldn't we have had the Hurricane and Mighty Molly out there to do this together?
Since Road Dogg was already
trotting Brian out again?
Hey, you know what?
Don't get me wrong. I love Road Dogg. I used to emulate the whole ladies and gentlemen.
You do. Yes.
I stole that shtick back in the days when I was wrestling. I loved Road Dogg.
Absolutely.
But if we were going to have Nora, couldn't we have had a Hurricane and Mighty Molly thing up there?
I would have been okay with that, yes. But, Brian needs his TV time.
and I would have loved to have seen them reference the WrestleMania, and Molly pinning him for the hardcore title. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, seriously, because they haven't had interaction on screen since then.
Right?
So she walk out there and go, what was up with that? For no reason. And then keep on going. That would have been good. I'm not going to lie.
Right?
But
just saying, like, it made sense on SmackDown. You had Shawn and Brian together, DX contingent.
Yes.
I feel like they missed the boat here.
No, I agree. And I think that I don't know if Shane is always at the shows, because you don't always see him as part of the running out road agents.
I know.
Like you see Petey all the time. Like you see, Pierce every week.
Which I'm still here for that stable. I promoted it on Open Mic Night to the boys.
I know.
And they were all for it.
I know.
AJ Styles, Eric Young, R-Truth, and Glorious Bobby Roode as a stable in WWE, managed by P.D. Williams. Their legal advisor, their wise man, if you will, Joseph Parks. You call him the Asylum.
Oh my God, that's tremendous.
You call him the Asylum.
Dude, I am so I can't even process. Oh my god. Okay. That's good. I like that. That's good.
So with
Oh yes, Road Dogg
Molly
and
and Road Dogg,
yeah.
Molly's first announcement for Raw, the bald and the bearded, as I've dubbed them,
Yes.
Braun Strowman and Ricochet.
Beauty and the Beast. You decide who's which.
I'm still waiting for this to implode because
Really? Even now?
yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
it just looks so forced.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
looks so forced, especially when you think about the tweets that Braun had put out about the flippy floppy fly guys, and he's teaming with Ricochet.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, you know, this is punishment for that. They've gotten over, they seem to be gelling well, but you don't want the monster of monsters going down that, for lack of a better term, Kane road.
Yeah.
You still need Braun to be a monster.
True.
I feel like he's starting to lose that in this tag team, much like Kane lost when he was teaming with X-Pac. I feel like the monster of monsters is starting to become a little too human.
Yeah. That's fair.
SmackDown was able to acquire Shotzi Blackheart along with her tank.
I know I made your day, brother.
Yep. One more contender for Bianca.
Yes, true. Very true.
Raw picked up a man who we can almost now bet is not going to win the triple threat on Saturday.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed.
Well, yeah, considering the U.S. Championship's on the other brand. Yeah.
Basically makes it feel like either Theory is going to retain or Lashley's going to get it.
Right.
Because both of them are SmackDown talent.
Which, you know, Lashley's first major thing was the U.S. Championship on SmackDown. So, you know, bring him full circle. Why the heck not?
Ken, good to see you. Yes, right now Adam Pearce runs both shows.
Yes.
And then the last draft pick announced by the Road Dogg. And again, of course, he had to make a Shawn Michaels joke because it's the first NXT draft pick for this portion. Yes, boys.
Yes.
Pretty Deadly are coming to SmackDown.
And yeah, I saw Josh's comment besides that one about Dolph, and I you know, again, I felt terrible for completely blowing your theory out of the water the other day, but
yeah, that was a dick move, Meacham.
It was a dick, but you know what though? I hate it when I'm right sometimes, and it sucks because that would have been an awesome pairing. Mm-hmm. Having hit Dolph with Pretty Deadly, but Dolph's a free agent.
And Kip Wilson.
Right, there you go. Yeah, it would have been a interesting scenario, and it's still not out of the running.
Yeah.
You figure Dolph's a free agent. He can go where he wants to go. So he can go to Raw, he can go to SmackDown, he can go to the Comedy Store, he can go to, you know, the Laugh Factory, he can go wherever he wants. He's Dolph Ziggler. So he's got that Brock Lesnar status apparently.
Yes. And then we got our final set of draft picks from JBL and Mr. Holla Holla Teddy Long.
Teddy Long and his black beard and gray soul patch, because, you know, why not? He's a fashion plate, that Teddy Long, that peanut head.
Yes. JBL made his first announced pick for Raw, and he told everybody in that arena to shush because the Alpha Academy is staying on Raw. Thank you.
Kind of figured that'd be a thing with Maxine being drafted to Raw, that they would keep her and Otis together just to let it play out.
Emmanuel with another $2 super chat saying, disagree. Remember what Triple H said, there might still be moves.
Fair.
Agreed. And as much as I would prefer to see Bronson with the belt over Lashley, Still want Theory to keep it, mind you.
Yes.
But with, I don't think he would go. I don't think the SmackDown title was drafted to SmackDown, or the U.S. title was drafted to SmackDown. Theory was drafted to SmackDown. So I don't think that if Bronson Reed wins the title, he'd be allowed to come to SmackDown with the title. I'm not really sure. Triple H didn't give the intricacies of all of that.
The way the picks were announced was that Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship were coming to Raw with Imperium. Austin Theory and the U.S. title were going to SmackDown. That verbiage leads me to believe that the title will stay put.
Yes.
But again, they both switched a lot during the original brand extension. So, we shall see.
Yes. So after the Alpha Academy, we had the interesting draft pick from Teddy Long of Rick Boogs.
Yeah.
As he called him, Meat Mountain.
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Yeah, I could have gone without that phrase in my life. Thank you.
Right?
Yeah. Somewhere Stasiak's going, hey.
But Boogs is actually getting the gimmick over.
Yeah. That hurt my back, Sean. Can you help me out? Anyway,
just like his old man couldn't get the WWF title over.
Good night, everybody. We're here. We're going to talk about that because it's Bruno. Oh, wait, no. We do talk about that, Bruno. There you go. Okay. Damn it.
But I mean, I felt that this was an odd draft pick to make, especially on TV.
Right? But yeah, like
when you think of some of the people that we'll get to that was announced on Raw Talk.
Yeah.
And those people couldn't have been announced in this spot instead.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know, man. And I was hoping he'd stay on the same brand as Nakamura, because I really wanted to see them back together with Boogs playing guitar for the entrance. I loved that presentation of Shinsuke.
Yeah, we got Boogs, not with Nakamura. No mention of Pat McAfee. We're breaking up the band, man. This sucks. No, we do. And if you bought the Renegades Rule shirt, Josh, you would know that.
That's
and why are you yelling for?
But Josh doesn't buy my merchandise for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that's true. To be fair, the shirt he did buy is not a bad one, because politics doesn't freaking work. It's a bunch of bullshit.
I understand that, but it would be nice if the Meltzer of the Multiverse actually bought a few shirts from the Multiverse. I'm just throwing that out there.
Damn it. We are going to piss off everybody today. I guarantee it. Anyway.
But you already knew. Hashtag stick to my shtick.
For people that are going, I understand. The other people, what is this his routine? I mean, are we going to do the show? Anyway.
So the last two announced draft picks were more NXT call-ups.
Yes. And here's where I get chatty.
We had JBL announce that coming to Raw, Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
So, the two teams that are battling tonight, by the way, on NXT for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are both on the main roster. Okay. That don't make no sense. That's where I get a little wiggy on the they don't have a really grand plan for everything. So why mention it?
I hear you. I was a little perplexed by that announcement as well. Not that I don't think they deserve to get called up, because I totally think they're ready.
Totally do. Both teams.
But why you gonna have that match tonight?
Yeah.
Have the draft picks go into effect after Backlash, And regardless of which team wins,
you lose them. Yeah.
What I'm thinking is going to happen is what Josh said. They're going to add a third team to that title match tonight.
They almost have to at this point now.
Who? I don't know, because, Cora and Roxanne won the titles, and then Cora turned heel on them, breaking up. They just split up Gigi and JC about a month or two ago.
Fallon and
Kiana and Fallon are having issues and have broken up.
Right. Maybe a team we haven't seen yet.
Possibly. But who and what?
Who? No, not the New Day.
And Emmanuel, I agree with that. I've been saying that for a minute as well, that when they do the merging of the Raw and SmackDown women's titles, they need to merge it with the NXT women's title, and they need to merge the women's tag team titles with the NXT women's tag team titles. That way they have full depth to their rosters.
Again, this is where the conundrum comes up of, is NXT developmental? Yes. Is NXT still a weekly brand? Yes. What is NXT's identity? They don't really seem to have a clear answer to that question, because they're still having these kids on that show that are developmental, but they're also producing 2 hours of live television on USA Network, which was not what they should have done. The only reason they moved to USA was to compete with AEW. They're not doing that anymore. So why? Why bother? I mean, granted, I know TV. I know TV contracts are a thing out there if you're going to answer that. It seems like it's becoming more of a problem to have NXT be a quote unquote viable television brand. And whenever their negotiations renew for TV on the NBC or the freaking parent company, Comcast side of thing goes, they need to be like, look, we're going to move this back to Peacock and just not have it be on USA, because it's a problem. If they're going to have the territory be developmental, then let it be that, and not have to worry about, gratifying the freaking network heads at USA/NBC.
My only concern with that is I feel that if it moves back to Peacock, I personally won't make as much of an effort to watch it.
Right.
And I've become vested in this NXT. I enjoy
Absolutely.
this NXT.
I
know there's other people out there like me. I know there's other people that claim that this is not their NXT, damn it.
Right. No, I understand that. Yeah.
But I feel like the only time I actively go to Peacock to watch anything is if it's a PLE or if I'm doing homework on a dad's episode.
Right.
I only watched SmackDown Lowdown and Raw Talk because of the draft.
Right.
I don't watch those every week.
No, I don't either.
I give a fuck all about those.
Right. Yeah. If I want Raw Talk, I'll watch.
Occasionally on a Wednesday, my phone will go off that WWE went live with the bump on Instagram, and I'll tune in and I'll watch a few minutes of it, and then I'll swipe up and close it.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that if it moves back to Peacock, interest in the product as a whole will diminish. And that's going to hurt the talent and the morale of the talent.
Yeah. Again, this is a much deeper dive than a draft show. We need to. I definitely think it needs to be addressed. It's just,
maybe we'll make it an OMN topic this week. I haven't seen anything major news wise, so
it is Tuesday, to be fair. So
to be fair, but by this time last week, Chavo had broken the internet, so
on purpose,
supposedly.
Yeah. I've said it from the beginning. The blessing and the burden of having NXT on broadcast television, even if it is cable, USA, whatever you want to call it, it's been just that. It's a blessing and a burden. And I think we're really seeing that now with this NXT championships and call-ups during the draft.
And speaking of NXT call-ups, the last televised announced call-up going to SmackDown. SmackDown is effectively going to the moon.
It's definitely good to
Cameron
see.
Grimes joins the blue brand.
Definitely good to see Cameron mentioned because, for all I knew, he was, just kind of an afterthought. But at the same time, he seemingly reacted to it over the weekend that he was not mentioned during the initial day of the draft. So maybe that was a response to that.
I know he's been off of NXT TV for pretty much the majority of the year.
Yes.
Last I had heard, they didn't really know what they wanted to do with him.
Right.
Because he had pretty much hit the glass ceiling down there.
Yeah.
They knew he was ready to move on, but they knew they didn't want to make him NXT champion.
Right.
The story there was Braun versus Carmelo.
Yes.
So they just kind of kept him off TV and figured when the draft came around, he would be a top prospect to get called up so that they could do something with him.
Right.
The fact that he was the last televised draft pick, though, kind of boggled me. And then I'm waiting to see what they do and how they introduce him to television. Because what they tried to do with Corbin and JBL, I think JBL would be perfect here with Cameron Grimes. When you think about the gimmick, you think about the money and everything. If Corbin had been tapped by JBL at the beginning of the Happy Corbin shtick, I think Corbin and Grimes would have been a decent tag team.
Yeah.
But Corbin is now in Corbin hell again. And he can't get the long hair and the biker vest back to return to the lone wolf and actually, matter.
Yeah.
When Riddick Moss is getting better TV angles than you are, saying.
But again,
not by much.
No.
When Rick Boogs is getting better TV time than you are.
And a televised draft pick and you aren't. Well, Monday Night Raw televised. Well, I mean, we'll get to Raw talk here momentarily because it's still video. It's still on. It's on television. Just relax, kids. It's on an app. I agree. Yeah, Cameron Grimes is one of those, like, everybody's sleeping on that talent even now. You need to stop because the guy's good. Yeah. Damn, man. Daniel is just on his shit with these. Yeah.
He's being brutal today.
He is, man. He woke up
Carl
salty.
saying he'd rather watch paint dry than NXT. Honestly, Carl, I think you're missing out.
I do too.
I think you're missing out. And maybe it's just coming from a guy that didn't grow up with the black and gold NXT. Yes, I'm now being exposed to it through my DVDs, and it's awesome. And I understand why Noah loves it so much. But because the current presentation of it is what I grew accustomed to first,
right?
I can't hate on it. I very much compare it to the people that got their first WWE exposure during the PG era, and then they go back and they watch the Attitude Era. They love the PG era because that's what got them into wrestling.
Right.
Yeah, they can see the Attitude Era. They can see what we love about it. They can understand why we think it's cool. But they love that PG era.
Right.
That's me with NXT right now. I can see the black and gold NXT. I see what made it so special and why people love it so much. But I really love the current product.
Matt's comment. Well, yeah. Matt's comment, I think, sums up the NXT presentation over the last, whatever it's been, almost 10 years now. Black and Gold was an experience, and it really was. And as far as Ken's reply to Carl about watching Goldberg for an hour of Goldberg matches, wouldn't that be the entirety of his career, 1 hour matches? Because I don't think his matches went longer than a few minutes anyway. And no, I still don't want to watch that shit. Because fuck Bill Goldberg. Anyway, that was right there. I don't think the morale's low. I think we're reading a lot into what's being fed out there by the Meltzers of the world and, things like that. And, believe what you want to believe. But I think that, again, a lot of this draft seems very disconnected. We're going to talk more about the free agents and everybody they announced during Raw Talk here momentarily. But once we get through all the draft picks, it definitely seems to me like there was a lot of disconnect. So
I agree. Give me 1 second here. I did see a super chat pop up from Emmanuel that I'm going to bring up here in just a second.
Yeah, I just don't know if he finished
Emmanuel with a $2 super chat there. NXT is fine, but it's hard to get invested when they go.
Yeah, I think he accidentally tapered off.
Well, no, I understand what he's saying. I think he's referring to the call-ups.
Oh,
it's hard to get invested when they end up getting called up. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be the developmental territory.
Right.
It's the same as AAA ball.
Right.
You're playing in AAA, your hopes is to get called up to the major leagues.
Right.
If you're playing in the ECHL, your hope is to get called up to the main NHL roster.
Right. No,
you're wrestling in NXT. You don't want to be in NXT forever. You want to make it to Raw or SmackDown.
And again, that is the dilemma. It's like you get invested in these kids you're watching on Tuesday nights, and it's like, okay, well, and then you watch them get called up, and whatever happens to them, So anyway, is that?
I don't know.
I don't either. Because I thought she was going back to school today, but I guess not. We'll find out later, I'm sure.
Now, that I can agree with, Josh.
Yes.
I know that from what I've done my homework on.
Yeah. Baron Corbin. That's the best example of a call-up going completely sideways.
Yes. All right. So that covers everything that happened on the main show portion of the draft.
Yes.
Before we get to what happened on Raw Talk, I'm going to take a quick 40-second intermission, show you guys what is coming up here for the watch-alongs, starting with Backlash and going all the way through WrestleMania 40. So that is everything that is coming up in the near and distant future as far as watch-alongs all across the multiverse of media, starting with Backlash, of course, this weekend from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Myself and the Simple Man Noah Foster will be on the call. Meach will be in the production studio as he is today. We won't be in front of the Jeff Meacham Towers. We'll be on location elsewhere, but
And on the topic of on location, there will be footage coming up this Saturday that will be shot this coming Thursday in a galaxy not too far away. Also on the watch along topic, apparently All In's already got 35,000 sold on the pre-sale. So good on them, man. Good on them. Good on AEW. That's good shit.
That's that's nothing but great for the business.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
once the live Raw portion concluded,
Yes.
the supplemental draft, if you will, the people who had not been announced yet continued on Raw Talk with a couple of Baba Ganoush's from the Stanford Baba Ganoush clan. I don't know, don't
If
care,
you
don't
know, you
follow
know.
him.
Okay, so it's Matt Kemp and I always forget the female's name. I'm sorry, but yeah, just Baba Ganoush's plus Byron Saxon, who's the biggest Baba Ganoush of them all, doing interviews backstage at Raw. So yeah, if you know, you know, kids. If you
Absolutely,
don't,
Matthew.
it is. And the fact that the official on sale isn't until Friday, and they've already got, in theory, based on projections, you know, 40% of the building already, stadium already sold. That's huge. That's big time. So good on. Like I said, I do.
Yes.
I really hope they get a major sellout or close to it to be able to announce during the Owen Cup, because that'll be monumental for the company and for the business, like you said.
Yeah. So we came on to Raw Talk, and immediately we were announced like 5 names,
Yeah.
4 or 5 names that were being drafted.
And I felt bad because I didn't recognize a couple of them on
We
pictures.
had
I felt bad.
Dana Brooke
Yes,
for
Dana
Raw.
Brooke.
We had Nikki Cross for Raw.
Yes.
We had Johnny Gargano remaining on Raw. And we had Tamina Snuka for Raw. Wait, she's supposed to be SmackDown. My bad.
Yeah. Botch.
Tamina Snuka went to SmackDown.
Yes.
You know what? For 72 fucking images to botch one, go a little easy on me, Meacham, okay?
And
Okay? One image.
but as we
Out of
predicted,
72.
I'm trying to move past it. As predicted, Raw is definitely the way.
Yes.
They are all together. They're all together. Anyway,
All together now.
all together now.
All together now.
All together
And
now. Well,
Mansfield, of course, saying, put Tamina with the bloodline.
the only way she's with the bloodline is making my brain bleed if she doesn't get any better on her own without Natty to help carry her butt. And yeah, like I said, she looked a lot better in her run with Natty as tag team champions, and she seemed like she was doing better, but then they just let her flounder again.
I kind of agree with Emmanuel here. Does it really matter?
It
No
doesn't. It doesn't. I didn't even. You're the one that botched yourself. I wasn't going to go down the rabbit hole with you. But you're the one that called your own shit out.
No, I know. But I mean, it's like this goes back to the whole Rick Boogs thing. Like Nikki Cross and Johnny Gargano couldn't have gotten a television name, and Rick Boogs could have been on Raw Talk. The entire rest of the way was announced on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Gargano, the leader of the way, gets announced on Raw Talk.
Yeah. No, what's interesting is Boogs was announced on TV.
Here we go.
Oh Lord, here we go. Boogs announced on TV, but we'll get to when we get to the next round of picks, I believe, or close to it anyway. His main on-screen foil was announced during Raw Talk, so it's like, huh? So anyway, you know what, dude? I know you like Bianca.
I actually would not be opposed to
that. That is a good.
Damn. I actually would not be opposed to that under 2 conditions. Number one, we get Bianca to where she passes the New Day record first, so she becomes the longest reigning Black champion in WWE history. Number 2, Tamina doesn't lose it within a month.
True. Fair.
Because if Tamina dethrones Bianca and then like loses it at the next PLE to somebody, cheapens the victory.
It does. You're absolutely right.
Now, personally, I would rather see somebody like a Shotzi get the opportunity. Someone kind of come out of nowhere, but I actually would not be opposed to that as long as those two conditions are met.
Right.
Period. Daniel Price going not only no, but hell no.
Damn. Daniel's just on his shit today.
Ratnick saying CM Punk's friend beats Bianca.
CM Punk doesn't have friends, except FTR.
Matthew says, problem is, Tamina will lose it to Charlotte.
Well, she will now. You put it out there. Because they watch this shit. They're going to be finding the building, so they're going to be watching even more now.
So after that, we got an announcement of more free agents. And I feel like this is where the free agent conversation really comes into play.
Oh, my God. Right? Oh, Lord.
Because Baron Corbin,
Mm-hmm.
Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
Zion Quinn.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck that is.
Right? Exactly.
And Elias.
All right.
Were all announced as free agents. Now, the only one of these that I don't really have an issue with is Cedric and Shelton. Because MVP and Omos are free agents as well.
Yes.
Essentially, if they are going to reform the Hurt Business, they are all free agents. I get
Which,
that.
like I said the other day during your thing, MVP with the biggest contract in SmackDown history at the time, having that free agency ability is a cool little thread that, the what do you call it? The long-term fans will recognize. So that's cool. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Matthew says, okay, if they're watching, push Io and Asuka.
Yes.
I co-sign on that.
Yes. Or together with Kyrie coming back.
That's a fair shout, Arlene. With the crumble of the bloodline happening, it wouldn't do any good to bring Tamina into the bloodline.
Fair, very fair point.
I understand that. I think I saw Zion Quinn on my TV like twice watching NXT 2.0, which is why I said, who the hell is he? Because this dude from NXT who barely appeared and did anything worth note is special enough to be a free agent.
Yeah, so
Von Wagner is also a free agent, which I question myself, but at least I know who the fuck Von Wagner is.
Right.
And he is second generation, son of one of the Beverly brothers. So.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I actually learned that watching The Boss Man.
Is that, is it, oh, you know what? It's Mike Enos' kid, huh?
Let me look it up. Talk while I do search.
Okay.
Here.
So, here was my problem with the announcement of the free agents. The graphic they put up on Raw Talk, the five of them side by side, I didn't recognize Cedric. I had no idea who the hell it was because his haircut's completely off and I haven't seen a whole lot of him. So I went to Aaron. I'm like, it was these three and two people I didn't recognize. It announced just now. So that was that problem. Again, I had no idea who Zion Quinn was either. Couldn't have picked him from Adam because I didn't know who he was. And then Elias gets a free agency, number one. And number two, he's announced on Raw Talk. Well, his on-screen foil for the moment, Rick Boogs, is announced on television.
Yeah.
That's where the disparity in the draft really just messes my brain up.
Yeah, and there was a couple other people coming up here that I feel could have had that television spot as well. Von Wagner is the son of Bo Beverly, Wayne Bloom.
Okay. God, he looks
not Enos.
right. Yeah, he looks more like Enos because Wayne's a fairly decent looking person, where Mike's got a little bit of the rough edges around him. So I just automatically assumed. Okay, well, I mean, if he's second generation, he's getting that rub, for historical purpose, then okay, cool, I'm okay with it. Because I mean, Mike Enos is no historical slouch either. He was in the ring on Nitro when Scott Hall took over the show and they both bailed. But hey, it's okay. NWO was right there, and Mike Enos was right in the mix of it, not doing a fucking thing. But it's okay.
I wouldn't say the demise of the bloodline is an interesting Emmanuel, but I think we're waiting for the trigger to be pulled. And I have a feeling it'll be on Saturday.
Yeah, it's like I said, Backlash is going to be a huge indicator for the future of the brands and the direction of the company going forward. All roads lead to San Juan, and then from there.
So after the free agent debacle,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We had the rest of the announcements for Raw.
Yeah.
Before we got some more NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
And the Raw announcements were Angel Garza and Humberto.
Yeah.
Tozawa. Piper Niven. Zia Lee. Tegan Knox. And Moss and Emma.
Who they called him Riddick Moss, which was a good sign. Did. That was a good sign. That. Yes, that was good.
I think the whole new show, new life is probably what they were going with there.
Hopefully,
fresh start.
And again, this is completely my bad, and I will acknowledge that it's my bad on the air here. But when you're having Raw Talk on in my background, and I'm trying to feed the information to Aaron as he's on the air, you need to pick better pictures of people that I can relay information to. Because I had Matt and what's her name turned off because I didn't have to listen to everybody. I didn't recognize Zia Lee either, because the way the picture was on their screen on WWE on Raw Talk. So, yeah. And again, I understand that you're not going to mention every single talent during Raw or during SmackDown. It happened during every other draft we ever had. But damn, man, everybody's just, dude, y'all need to not wake up so damn early. Clearly, man, y'all freaking high sodium this morning, or this afternoon almost now for us. But man, you guys are on your shit today. Just rough around the edges. Meacham, my bad. As far as again, I don't watch Raw Talk a whole lot. I was only doing it last night for the purposes of the Boss Man.
Mm-hmm. And I only watched it because Jeff messaged me saying that the draft continued on Raw Talk, and knowing I was going to do this, we originally had planned to do this last night when Raw went off the air.
Yep.
But that would have been an 11 o'clock start.
For here. Yeah.
Assuming that we already had everybody announced, which we didn't.
No.
So I had to then watch Raw Talk, which took me till 11:30 our time. That's 2:30 for y'all East Coasters.
Yeah.
At that point, I was just exhausted. I went to bed.
Yeah.
So I told Jeff, I was like, look, let's just do it 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time for all you East Coast folks. Yes. And let's do it the next day.
Yep.
And honestly, I think this is working out beautifully.
That's right. So
even Mansfield, and I'll go back to this from Emmanuel, but even Mansfield saying, I very much appreciate you not going live last night.
All right. So all you East Coasters, along with thanking Trish Stratus for making the Raw part of the draft relevant, you should be the hashtag thank you Renegade for considering you East Coast folks, in his thought process of broadcasting. God bless you, Renegade. You are a considerate and thoughtful CEO, and I applaud you for that, and I acknowledge the shit out of you for that.
Appreciate that.
That's Natalie, who actually is watching, by the way.
Oh, okay. So. Emmanuel, I think the reason Raw got more draft picks at the end of the day is the extra hour.
Yeah.
They have an extra hour of TV they've got to fill up, so they need talent for that hour.
Exactly.
And you are very welcome, Arlene. Again, thank you for being the first person to subscribe to the members only section. And I will get into that when we get to the shills.
That's right.
So after we announced Riddick Moss and Emma, we got 3 more announcements of NXT call-ups.
Yes. Which I missed because I couldn't do both broadcasts at that point. I was making my head hurt.
It's all good. We got Indus Shear.
Oh, no, I didn't see
Raw.
I saw this.
Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Sangha.
Yes.
We've got also coming to Raw, Odyssey Jones.
Yes.
And then coming to SmackDown, we're going to get the Grayson Waller effect, baby.
Man.
I am so
stoked
that he is going to be on the show with Theory. Oh my God.
Right?
And that goes back to Matthew's comment earlier about the idea of Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller on SmackDown. That is an insane series of matches.
Yes. And by the way, Josh, we are aware Veer is coming to Raw. Again. Yes, we are aware.
See, Matthew, I don't know because you've already got The Miz with Miz TV on Raw.
Yes.
Grayson Waller can still do the Grayson Waller effect now on SmackDown.
Yep.
And like I said, him and Theory are so similar in nature, gimmick-wise.
Yep.
That have them feud, have them team, either way it would work.
Yep. Either way, it's it went away. Never mind. Go ahead. I lost it. Fuck.
But the one of these that really boggled my mind was Odyssey Jones.
Yeah.
Like, I have not seen a whole lot of this dude, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be mean. He gives me Mark Henry vibes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, are we just going to rehash the old Mark Henry gimmicks with him?
I mean,
you know, Hall of Pain, Sexual Chocolate, World's Strongest Man. As long as he doesn't, you know, have an old WWE Hall of Famer give birth to a hand, I guess we're okay.
I mean, the Hall of Famers available at this point in their lives are, you know, still younger than Mae Young and Moolah were, so it might not be the worst thing for his career. I mean, Deuce always seems down for a TV spot. That was fucked up. I apologize, Deuce. I'm sorry. I love you.
Mansfield with the take saying that SmackDown just became heaven for Wade Barrett with LA Knight and Grayson Waller, and hell for Michael Cole.
He accurate. He 100% accurate on that.
And Matthew with me there. Odyssey Jones was injured for like a year plus. He very much reminds me of Mark Henry meets Keith Lee. Oh, interesting. The Meltzer of the Multiverse with a little bit of news here.
Oh.
Apparently Samantha Irwin was drafted to Raw and Mike Rome to SmackDown.
I don't like that.
Because you like how she does the bloodline announcement.
Natalie, I know you're watching. Not only we're talking about the show about the bloodline breaking up, we're losing the bloodline announcer, man. The ring announcer. The undisputed. We're losing that.
But she gets to stay with Gunther and Imperium.
That's fair.
And that's probably her second best announcement.
She does the enter. Oh, I what's that word the kids use? I ship by whatever it is for Samantha Urban. I love Samantha Urban. She's fucking awesome. Synth. There, yeah. She definitely.
Samantha's married to Ricochet, so it makes sense.
It does make sense.
Keeping
See
the
the couple
couples
together.
together.
And yes, her announcing Imperium is all right. Here we go. Here's where the niece gets pissed at me. Her announcing Imperium is better than the Bloodline.
Oh shit!
Sorry, Nat. It is.
I'm waiting to see her.
Oh, she just got. She's leaving. Okay, good. Okay, ignore that. What I just said. Okay, bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes. But yeah, her announcing Imperium.
That was my daughter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, yes. Her announcing Imperium to the ring and the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. It's like, yeah, I got it a little bit. Man, if Ricochet and Strowman become tag champions, she's gonna lose her shit at ringside, which is gonna be awesome. Because she's she does her every announcement, she does it with all of her heart and all of her passion. She's gonna lose her goddamn mind if her husband wins a championship or something. Oh, but yeah, Mike Rome, again, I saw Mike at the Sam Roberts podcast. He's a funny dude and he's as fun as hell to hang with. So I think that if they let him kind of spread his wings a little bit, I did go there, Natalie. Sorry. I know. I'm gonna catch
Let me
shit.
guess, sweetheart. Was that bullyism?
Oh, jeez. Let her go. God. Get my ass in trouble. I have to make a visit to up there. You can get me in trouble. I don't know if you need to replace Corey.
Pat McAfee.
I mean, that would be my choice. I just don't. Oh shit. Who am I ripping? I acknowledge. Hey, it was him that said the Imperium was better than Blood. I just co-signed with it at the end of the day. But I'm trying to throw you on the back under the bus. It's okay. Go back to where we're talking. Oh, Graves and Carmella. By the way, congrats to Leah and Matt for real.
I figured to acknowledge and address that on open mic night this week. Most of our topics tend to teeter towards the negative, so it's always good to have something positive.
But it's
bring us back in with.
Anytime you have a rainbow baby is a miracle. It's wonderful. So I'm very happy for both of them. But yeah, Corey, again, this is going to sound like dude-like of me, so I'm not trying to be. Depending on when she has the baby, he doesn't have to be gone from TV that long. He'll want to be, and absolutely he should be, especially with with everything that they've struggled with to get to this point. You'll want to take as much time as you can, but I also know that Corey loves performing. So it'll be a matter of, with any luck, she'll have the baby on a Tuesday. On a non-pay-per-view week, so he can come back to work Monday night.
Yeah, their projected due is November. I could see him taking off until the Rumble and then being back in time for the Rumble to Mania run.
Yeah, I mean 2 months home is a lot for especially people that are on the road their whole lives, but considering, like I said, the struggles they've been through, what they've had to go through, I think they'll gladly take those 2 months.
Yeah.
And God, if Becky or anybody's an indication, man, shoot, Leah can have the baby bounce right back. So, we'll see.
Right. So that is all of the draft picks. We got through that a lot quicker than I anticipated. We do have some questions here that I starred.
Cool.
Carl says, would you have a commissioner on both brands? Yes.
Oh.
I love Adam Pearce, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's a little bit much for him to try to run both brands. I think he could definitely benefit from having somebody being that on-air authority figure for SmackDown. I would keep him on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
The whole dynamic of him, Chelsea, and Sonya is just too good to lose.
Agreed.
It's too good to lose.
It is, yeah.
But I think they could definitely benefit by having somebody as the figurehead spearheading SmackDown. Whether you reach out to bring somebody like Easy E or Teddy back,
Mm-hmm.
whether you look to somebody like maybe a JBL who still seems to be kind of hands-on,
Yeah.
whether you look to somebody who's one of the agents and bring a Joseph Parks or a TJ Wilson
Right.
or a PD Williams.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
JBL was the
or
black and gold commissioner for a while, so or John.
or you could use this as a way to bring McAfee back into the fold. I think McAfee, with his charisma and his personality, would be a hell of a commissioner.
Yeah.
Yes, we'd miss him on commentary, but
Right.
they've got more than enough people to keep that on lock.
Yeah.
I think he's got just enough charisma where he'd be a great GM, and that would also help tie into his once or twice a year matches. Because you could always have a storyline that sees him end up getting a match at Mania and SummerSlam. And he gets 2 big matches a year, which kind of seems to be his MO as of recent. Usually gets at least 2 a year.
Yeah. My whole thing is I definitely want to see different. Molly's not a bad choice. I just don't know if Nora's into that, every week stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
But I definitely want to see different GMs because the last time we had one GM for both shows prior to Adam Pearce, you could barely understand him when he went out there to cut promos. I don't like that asshole anyway. So, I'm okay with having separate.
No, because Don Callis is in AEW.
And because we have the Endeavor rep on our No DQ chats, and we need to keep him there. And that way we have a presence there on No DQ.
Well, I was just going off the whole Cyrus being the network shtick. That was so good.
I know. I wouldn't mind that, except, it would be very much Don Callis like. And I'm like, it's less than, because Don was so good when he was doing that. People give Cyrus the Virus shit. I loved it. I love every bit of it.
I don't see why it wouldn't work with his college football schedule, because he'd only need to be available for Fridays.
Well,
And
PLEs.
Some PLEs.
Yeah.
PLEs could be a video package. It could be live via satellites. He could come in for SmackDown, do SmackDown, tape a video segment that could be shown at the PLE.
True.
It could work if there was the desire, drive, and determination, right?
That's it. That's all it takes. RVD is Raw GM number 1. Rob doesn't want to go back on the road 52 weeks a year. No, he's good on that shit. That's why he left the company in the first place.
Arlene pointed out that she feels like the people who were drafted after Raw shown that they don't matter as much. One of them was Waller, who definitely should have been announced on the air. Absolutely.
Yep.
Waller should have had Boogs' spot.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it prior to, because I was trying to wait till we got to Waller, but I definitely think Waller should have had the Boogs spot.
Yep.
And Boogs and Elias could have been announced as free agents, or just announced them on Raw Talk together.
Like I said.
But Waller should have been the one. Waller or Gargano should have had that spot on TV.
Yep. Considering that they were in a program together, it should have. Yeah. I mean, God, again, this is where you just overload the chili pot, and it just ends up becoming a untasty mess.
Exactly, Emmanuel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because green screens never work on wrestling broadcast ever, so can't go with those. Well, okay, wait, hang on.
He's shouting.
I'm ready.
Shouting.
He's yelling at us again. Here we go. I'm ready. I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting, Josh. Waiting.
The waiting is the hardest part. Well, while we wait for Mansfield, Carl says the anonymous GM comes back.
Fuck that damn leprechaun. Anyway, if you know, you know, kids. If you don't, go back and watch Casa Archives. It's there. Trust me. Anyway,
Anytime, Mansfield, you're holding up the show.
I am literally I can't stand the anticipation.
Jason. All right, well, while we wait for Mansfield, freaking drunk texting over here.
Right?
Emmanuel says, question of the day, Trish getting drafted, so what is she going to do after her feud with Becky?
Be the GOAT. That's what she's going to do, and you should thank her for it, damn it.
I mean, that's a fair question because, she was only really coming back for that. So where does she go from there? But I'd like to see Trish versus Mommy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And Trish lose. Because she doesn't need the belt. She doesn't need the run.
I know.
And that would really help solidify Rhea by defeating Trish Stratus.
Josh, I think your send of the answer didn't go through because it said we don't see it. Sean's saying I can't see it. Do it again.
Okay, there's nothing.
There's nothing. I can show you, but it'd be hard to do that with the angles.
We have you saying Big E till he's healed up all the way, but then you said, "Oh wait, I know who it should be," and then you said I sent it.
Unless those came in the wrong order, which is very likely.
But yeah,
But in this case, if that's the case, if you were shouting about Big E, it's like I don't know about that. I think if Eric was interested in the gig, he would. But he wouldn't. And nope. There. Let's see if it worked this time. Again, we're seeing that, Josh, but we're not seeing the actual answer.
There must be some word or something in what you posted that YouTube is not allowing you to post.
Oh, you know what? Probably.
So,
Josh, are you commenting on my? You're watching my stream or JJ's? You better be the right answer. Because if it's not mine, you're going to be in trouble. Or no, if it is mine, you're going to be in trouble, I should say. Oh, shit, I'm being talking.
Radnick says that he sent it to Uncle Dave.
Damn, probably. All right, let's see. Josh, on my stream, it says, I would say possibly Big E until he's healed up. Oh, wait, I know who it should be. I sent it. And the next one was there. We'll see. So, yeah, so far it's not working at all. It has not gone through. Whatever you tried to say.
Josh, send it to me in a face. Oh, no, he's done on Facebook because of the whole thing.
Yeah. His Facebook got hacked because Walter's Facebook got hacked because people suck. All right. I'm gonna keep a close eye on my my thread here.
Yes.
All right.
Try posting it on my stream on my end and see if it shows up over there.
Yeah. Something. Anyway, we completely derailed the show for Josh's answer. And now it's like,
right now it's trying to get back on track. But anyway, Arlene also asked if we're doing predictions from Backlash. I do know Noah is doing a Simply Predicting panel.
Yes.
Let me go to my thing here and see when it actually is. If you want to chat real quick so I can try to
send it to Veer. It'll arrive when he comes. Anyway.
It'll be on Friday, 5:30 Eastern time.
Okay. So when the Rampage time clock this week.
He did say on open mic night that either you, Arlene, or if Emmanuel would like to be on the prediction panel, just shoot him a message. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, smoke signal, Morse code, however you can communicate with him, let you know that you would like to be on his Simply Predicting panel.
Right.
As far as us, yes, Aaron Rift is doing predictions tonight for the No DQ channel, but Jeff and I will probably give our thoughts and predictions pre-show on Saturday.
Right. We're not going to be part of the No DQ prediction show because I'll be in here at the same time. I didn't want to try to throw that out there in the multiverse, but it is what it is.
Carl says we'll probably be stuck with William Regal as GM. Okay, number one,
Where are we stuck?
William Regal as GM is not being stuck because he's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Number two, he still has a year left in his deal with AEW, where even though he is now back with WWE, he is unable to appear on WWE television until his AEW contract expires.
Right.
She says she asked because she just wanted to know if we thought Bad Bunny would win.
Or should win.
Honestly, I think he should.
Okay.
As much as the Judgment Day could use the victory, I don't see any point in building the match of Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, hosting it in his hometown, just to job to Damian Priest.
Right.
In a street fight of all things. So the LWO is going to get involved. The Judgment Day is going to get involved.
Y'all are going to kill me. What did you do? What did you do, Mansfield?
Right? Like, I still don't know what the hell you're talking about because nothing has gone through.
On either channel, by the way.
Yes.
And I can look. Shame we should use. Okay, so it's funny that Emmanuel says using the Force. I have been trying to create graphics for the shows all week using the Star Wars font. A, to get this energy out for Friday's episode of Dads, and B, just to piss Aaron off because he's made the seconding today and he's being a dick about it. Yes, Friday. That show is in the can. That show is already queued up on the Casa channel. It will be uploaded to the Jeff Meacham Network channel after this show ends, and we'll be ready to go Friday afternoon, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, the day after May the 4th, of course. Revenge of the 5th, if you will. Check. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Radnick says this Josh comment better put butts in seats.
From the YouTube chat on my laptop. So apparently it did go through. It just didn't show for whatever reason because he typed out freaking. He tried to put over his favorite member of the McMahon family as the possible GM, but he typed out the world with about 40 O's. So YouTube probably went, yeah, no. He said the best in the world! Exclamation point time 50. Shane McMahon.
No, Mansfield. That's a bad Mansfield.
Josh, you're fired. This is why.
Arlene says she just hates seeing celebrities win all the time. And I get you for that. But at the same time, it's like you've got to put them over if they're going to come into the business.
Absolutely. I'm going to, just for Josh, as we're talking about, I'm going to go into the YouTube studio and figure out why this didn't go through. Because I'm genuinely curious now, because usually it would do that. Oh. I don't know why that didn't go through.
Emmanuel says, what takes longer, a Taker Mania entrance or a Triple H Mania entrance?
Well, I mean, they were in the same match forever.
A Josh Mansfield YouTube comment. That's the answer.
We will piss everybody off today. I guarantee it. That's the gimmick. I'm a bad Mansfield. Yes, you can. Yes, you can help yourself, mucker father. You just don't. You made a choice. Like Natalie always says about bullyism, you made a choice today.
Carl says he'd rather have Goldberg as a GM than Shane.
Okay, put his ass on time, and I'm done with this Carl nonsense. No.
I will not.
No. I will. Fuck. Shit.
Matthew says it looks like the rumors are true about Rumble. He has to try to go with it being in Orlando.
Which, Orlando and that stadium, good memories for me.
Yes.
So I'm okay with Rumble being there. 2 minutes in the box for BS. Mikey with the comment. We should just end it right there. That's the best comment of the show.
But if we ended right there, then there's no more shills, Meacham, and you sent me graphics specifically for shills.
Oh, yes, I did do that. And I meant to send you more and I forgot it.
Well, let's start running through these. That way I can delete them because I've already got 100 things loaded in with all 72 freaking draft choices because I didn't know if we were going to go back and run through those at some point. So I left them.
You made a choice today.
So let's go ahead and start.
Yes. All right. So our buddy Lizzie Valentine, you guys have all, heard us talking about Lizzie over the years. My first actual friend in the business who has stuck with me for the 20 years I've been doing this shit with Aaron now. She is in the running to be on the cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers, but you have to go to the link at the bottom, misshealthandfitness.com/2023/ her name, Liz-Miklos. I don't know how you say it. Sorry, Lizzie. You can also link her off of my Facebook. I actually put the link up there. You get a free daily vote through Facebook. You just have to verify your Facebook thing, but you can also make what's called a warrior vote and vote through monetary donations. You can also support disabled veterans in that process. Yeah, Mikey's permanently the penalty box. He just has that he has that show host gimmick where he can actually put people in the box too. So
See,
Mikey has that power.
I want to support you. I want to support Liz.
Yes,
but I don't know if I can vote for her because she has a T-shirt on that actually says "Bay."
I know. I know. I gave her a little crap for that. It is what it is.
And we all know she's not full vegan. And if you know, you know.
Damn. That was unnecessary, Jay. Like, seriously. Anyway.
Trying to be funny, Meacham.
I know. This one, dead serious.
Really quickly, Carl says, wish her all the luck.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. So, Nikki has been a family friend literally my entire life. I've known her mom, who was our cashier at Vaughn's across the street from our original place. So I've known this family the entirety of my 40 years. And she is an amazing guitar instructor. I can vouch for her as an instructor through Dylan. She was Dylan's instructor. We lost scheduling availability because of her work schedule and Dylan's school schedule, but she is now again offering Zoom lessons, Skype lessons, and she is employed by Fender Play, who are an incredible company. So message her on Instagram at Nikki_Nacho_Stevens. I got the Nacho story. I always forget why she calls herself Nacho. I just thought it was funny, but yes, please contact Nikki if you have if you or somebody you love or know or care about wishes to have guitar lessons. I can't recommend anybody higher than Nikki Stevens. She's awesome.
There you go. And then, of course, later on this afternoon.
Yes. Into the studio we go. God help us. NFL draft coverage, and I mean full coverage. We're going to be talking about that in depth this afternoon, along with the Stanley Cup playoffs, along with the XFL championship preview and playoff results, along with USFL rankings, along with Major League Baseball power rankings, NBA playoff discussion. There is a lot of shit going on in the sports bar because it's an actual sports bar, and we're talking about all sports. So
we want to make sure we reiterate that to everybody out there. This isn't Stat Boys NFL update.
Yes.
Stat Boys Sports Bar.
Featuring Dory Lou. And we will definitely be covering all the sports. I actually have as we went on the air 2.5 hours ago, I was processing the rankings for men's and women's tennis. We're also going to be talking about soccer and NASCAR, which was in Dover. It was delayed, but they were in Dover this week because of the scheduling, but there was weather issues in Dover. So we are going to be going the full 90 at least today. We will be going to NXT.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all go longer.
Oh, very likely today because we have a guest incoming. We'll talk about that during the show itself. But
we'll go ahead and plug it. Who's the special guest?
Well, I don't know if it's for sure. That's why I wasn't going to. I mean,
if you are still in the chat room, can you please confirm or deny the special guest?
Yeah, that way I can plug it because I'll be happy to plug it if he's going to be on. Bad Mansfield. Anyway. After Stat Boy Sports Bar, after NXT finishes on on USA Network on the East Coast. We'll be going live. That's an old graphic because of the logo in the bottom right. So we'll go ahead and take that off.
That's the only one I've got. You haven't given me the new one yet.
It's not true. I sent you the new one. It's okay. Because it's also not correct in the promo video, but it's all good. Tuesdays, every Tuesday when I can help it. Last week was an anomaly. After NXT Talk Wrestling, of course, we'll be talking about we'll talk about purchase of Titan Tower. Why not? Meacham Towers is now a thing. We'll talk about that for the 40 minutes I'm on tonight. I don't know. Tomorrow, of course, Renegades Reviews, you'll be on early in the afternoon. Aaron will be on. Stagecoach, there you go, featuring the continuation of John Wayne's showcasing on Renegades Reviews. Aaron, of course, will be back tomorrow night with his recap of Dynamite. Thursday, of course, is Throwback Thursday, as it is every Thursday on the Casa. What week are we on with you?
Week 10.
Jesus.
I know. We have successfully completed the entire run of a Hardy Conversation. This week, we will get the premiere episode of Double Down with Double A, taking the slot that was occupied by a Hardy Conversation.
Which, if that's the case, I'd forgotten about that, so I'll go ahead and plug it. If it is confirmed or not, it is what it is later. But Double A, Aaron Austin, will be on Statboy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou this afternoon because he had a family member in the draft, NFL draft.
Yes.
So definitely want to get him on there.
To the Buffalo Bills, Alex Austin.
He did. He was
a
drafted.
lot more will be covered about that on Statboy Sports Bar this afternoon.
Yes. And as Throwback Thursday is being presented throughout Thursday, of course, I will be, as I mentioned, in a galaxy not too far away, getting footage for Open Mic Night. But prior to Open Mic Night, of course, as we talked about, the dads, not always on wrestling, will be listing our top 10 characters in the Star Wars universe coming up on Friday, Revenge of the 5th at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Definitely
be preceded by my review of Hondo with John Wayne.
Yes, I do. I forgot because it's on at 2:30 and it threw me off. I apologize. Or whenever, however long Hondo goes, because Hondo's I love Hondo. Like that was one of my grandfather and my dad's favorite John Wayne movies. I love me some Hondo.
I think it stuck around the standard time. I think the episode with trailers and everything will be about 20 to 25 minutes. So,
okay, cool. Yeah,
that'll be airing at 2:00 Pacific, 5:00 Eastern. Give a little bit of a break for people to go potty and get their drinks refreshed before we begin our shenanigans that happened a short time ago in a multiverse not far away.
Yes. Definitely looking forward. Like I said, people either love or hate Star Wars, it seems like. I am here for it. I've been watching the content on Disney Plus because my DVD player is what it is. So definitely looking forward to the week. And I get to go hang out with two very recent friends of mine. That's bullshit, Emmanuel. You put yourself on timeout for that nonsense. I love Han, and I even love Lando, but come on now. You know what? I am a self-admitted recent addition to the fandom as far as, and I say recent, that's 25 years, but definitely a cool show. JJ and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So
it was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Because there are so many characters to pick from, You figure the original movie came out in 1977. So do you just do the movies? Do you include the cartoons, the video games, the books, the holiday special? The prequel trilogy, the new trilogy? Do you include the characters designed for Star Tours and for Batuu? There is so much out there in Star Wars lore that for somebody like me who is embedded in the fandom.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, see, Carl, you're pushing it now. I have had your back for a minute here, bro. But dude, come on.
Come on now. Yeah, Emmanuel, no, there is nothing more BS then the Edmonton Oilers advanced over my Kings. I am still salty as fuck about that. But we will be covering the Stanley Cup playoffs today during this. I won't be on the air to talk about it, but I have amazing graphics because I'm just that good a producer and that unbiased a director of programming that I will still talk about, have the shows I produce, still talk about the NHL, even though the Kings lost the fucking Oilers again. Anyway,
Okay.
All right, you're good. You're good here. You are good here if you're going to play Back to the Future.
No,
No.
because he ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. It is all the same person.
Oh, yes. It is the same person.
Just like Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, and Mr. America are all the same person.
Mr. America was not Hulk Hogan. He passed lie detector test.
Just like I believe in DDP and I don't believe in Joe Hendry.
And neither of us believe Mustafa Ali, even though he was drafted to TV. You know. Yes. Okay. So I'm watching that in the next day or two. So that'll be your Saturday new release, correct?
Correct. The plan on this end is to watch it this evening, family movie night, prior to not Noah's NXT.
Damn it. Yeah, I am such a, and you know, of course, my kid with Peter Pan. This is the way. Absolutely. You know what? JJ made I don't know where he got it originally, because I've seen it a few different times now, but it's no longer May the 4th. It's no longer Revenge of the 5th. This is the May. I'm here for it. Oh, and then the Blue Blazer weren't the same person. They proved that too. Come on, you guys. Do your history research. The Blue Blazer was Jeff Jarrett and Steve Blackman and Coco Beware.
So my new release Saturday is going to be Peter Pan and Wendy, the Disney Plus original. And then, of course, that is going to precede our coverage of Backlash.
Good stuff. Going to San Juan? No, I'm not. I wish it would be nice. But again, making us invest in, damn it, they're not the same. They're not the same. Making us invest our energies in these B shows.
And hopefully we won't have what happened during last year's Backlash happen this year. Because that's actually going to be the Throwback Thursday episode of Open Mic Night, where we cut our coverage of Backlash during the main event to start Open Mic Night early because, as Jeff said, I'm over this shit.
Did I really?
Yeah.
I don't remember doing
Roman
that.
Reigns, Jimmy and Jay versus Riddle, and I forget who Riddle was teaming with. I can look it up very quickly, but yes, you ended the coverage of the pay-per-view, the PLE, early because you were over this shit. Wow. Oh, and RK Bro. It was Drew and RK Bro against the Bloodline, Roman, Jimmy, and Jay.
I mean,
and you were just so over the match, over the bullshit, over the fact that none of the belts were on the line. You called an audible. I'm sitting there still trying to do commentary. Noah's trying to help me because, you know, we're supposed to be doing commentary for the PLE. And Jeff is just like, I'm over this shit. We're starting Open Mic Night now, God damn it.
Wow. What a difference a year makes, huh?
Yeah. So that'll be this coming Thursday's Throwback Thursday of Open Mic Night. Go check that one out.
So Throwback Thursday is now called Throw Under the Bus Thursday because last few weeks it's just been one of us or the other fucking up real bad with the bad takes.
Hey, you know what? None of them are as bad as my Michelle McCool take, and that still aired in its entirety. So it is what it is.
Yes, it did, and trust me. I've got the urine over here, Undertaker, looking over my shoulder every time we talk about the I go, stop looking at me, Mark. So I did. I full Vince, full on Vince, called audible on the headset. Turn that shit off. Turn it off right now. God damn, we're going Open Mic Night. I'm the boss. Anyway. Hey, you know what, though? At the time, she earned every bit of that venom. Every bit of it.
Yes, she did.
Oh. Fuck, no, I don't. Okay, well, okay.
I
Let me
missed it a little bit.
okay. Let me clarify. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the idea of when Aaron and the other person and I used to go do the location shoots. When Aaron and Lee and I, and when we did the XMVs, and then when he and I started doing our shows. I do miss that, but the actual filming outside and the road noise and the wind and the bullshit, I miss absolutely fucking none of that whatsoever. Like, because
That's fair.
the elementals were a mucker feather. It was awful. So
Yeah, and I couldn't even imagine trying to do that up here with the winds the way they are.
either city now, the winds have gotten so much worse last decade. It's no, don't miss it a bit.
I echo Jeff's sentiment. Like, I miss the pick up the camera, go out there and just do it,
Yes.
and presenting something different than what
Mhm.
everybody else was doing,
Yep.
because everybody does this.
Right.
Everybody does this.
Yes, exactly. Right.
And it's hard these days to find people on location shooting outside, the elements, interacting with people. Man, some of the throwback Thursdays that went up, like the one of me doing an episode of Renegade outside of the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, fuck calling it the Honda Center, outside of the pond, and bringing people onto the show to talk to. Granted, they were friends. It was Sandy, it was Bad Dan, it was Double A. But having that free flow as opposed to,
Right.
I miss that.
But what was good about stuff shooting at the arenas was like, when our buddy Buggy had her tryout, walk, oh hey, it just happened, having the coach on XMV and trying to duck out of the shot because coach knew better because he knew WWE was watching. Shit like that.
Being outside of AEW and having Chaos come by.
Oh, so good to see Joey and Sylvia, right? Like, didn't expect it to happen. No. Can we get my Ovaltine and cookie ready? Thank you. Jesus. Well, sometimes. Today we do. Today we absolutely
do. Today was a straight up fluke, Carl, because like I said, we were originally going to do this last night, immediately after Raw. But then they announced the Raw talk was going to happen. So that meant we would have been starting it at like 3 a.m. Eastern time, midnight Pacific.
That's right.
We're already 2.5 hours in, so we're talking going to about 3 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock your time. My girlfriend gets up at 3 in the morning,
right,
to begin her journey down the hill for work. If we had been on the air when she got up, I would have gotten the death glare. For real. So I called an audible. It's like, let's just do it in the morning.
Exactly.
Like, we can get rest. We can think about this. We can process it. I have the opportunity to get the graphics already.
Yep.
I didn't even watch any of the matches last night. No. I literally was working on the graphics as the matches were happening. That way I was all done with the graphics by the time the next announcement was made.
Yes.
The only thing I actually had to pause was Raw Talk, because that shit freaking came like Fast and Furious on Raw Talk.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Now do this a whole lot. I more and more am understanding and appreciating Aaron's doing the recaps every week and having a note take during. Mm-hmm. It's a bitch. Mm-hmm. And that's why he doesn't have a real job. Bull shit, he doesn't have a real job. Having to he doesn't have to. Yeah, because it's what he knows. And sitting through 3 hours of Raw, sitting through 2 hours of SmackDown and Dynamite every week, and having to have detailed information to relay to the people that either choose not to watch it or want that full-on knowledge of what they watch, and they can, sit here in the chat room and bitch about it. It is a full-time situation, which is why I am so grateful that, he and I, JJ and I, are both, starting to generate momentum, starting to generate those monthly paydays, which is nice.
Yes, and I can't thank all of you enough for that. Like, this man has been growing his product for the better part of the last 3 years.
Right.
So he's been at that point.
Yes.
I literally got monetized about a week before WrestleMania.
Yep.
And I got paid out in April. I'm getting paid out in May. So my first 2 months that I've been eligible for paydays from YouTube, I'm getting paid. And you guys all out there, all of you, but specifically people like Arlene and Emmanuel and Josh, who are constantly donating and super chatting, I owe it all to you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. And, it's folks like you supporting. It's like a freaking PBS special with donations from people like you. It's like the damn.
But it's true. As corny as it sounds,
it really is true.
Legitimate.
Yeah.
Because of people like you.
Yeah.
We are able to make an income. Is it enough to live off of?
No.
Not going to front.
Nice little
Aaron makes that kind of money.
Yeah.
We don't. We still have other jobs. But we're still bringing in and sustaining an income because of you, our fans.
Yep.
And that is not lost on me. I know it's not lost on Jeff.
Ever. And
we both appreciate you guys. We acknowledge you guys, Bloodline style, for everything you guys do for us.
Absolutely. It is the folks at home and the folks that, come see us when we're out and about that allow, thank you, Arlene, that allow us to have, to wear our own shit when we're doing our shows, to be able to have the resources and the technology to buy Titan Tower from WWE when they were getting ready to crumble the place. So, hell, we got a whole building to work in now, man. And we have to go 3,000 miles, to work every day. But hey, the commute's not a big deal. I do a 2-hour commute as it is to work now. So it's all good. In seriousness, thank you again for everybody that's got JJ at paid subscriber status, because fuck, that's awesome within 2 months. And thank you guys for tuning in. I know some of you it was early. Some of you was like, "Ooh, we're in the UK and they're on before bedtime." Awesome. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we acknowledge that, Emmanuel. It's you can't please everybody. We've had to learn that in our lives and in our professional presentations. So UK times will be challenging, Carl, and I only say that because more often than not, JJ is out on the road doing his thing for work, and I am, when I'm not in pre-production or show prep for one of my shows for the evening, I'm trying to catch up on energy replenishment, which is always an adventure around here. So,
Carl, quick question: what time is it for you right now?
It should be either like 8:30 or 9:30 or close to it. I forget if we're 7 or 8 or 9 hours ahead. It really depends on that stupid time change thing too, which I keep hearing we're going to get rid of, but I'll believe that shit when I see it. Yeah, and Matt, for every one of us or Aaron or people like our buddy Denise, who also struggled like a mugger brother before she got on with Sean Waltman, and then of course she's blazed her own trail now, so God bless her. There's hundreds of people that are like we were in 2011, like Aaron was in 2002. It's just a matter of, again, patience is the most difficult virtue to acquire and to maintain. I will say that forever. Appreciate that, Stat Boy. We're actually asking the person that lives there, but we appreciate your continued dedication to your stats, as we do, and so much so that I'm wearing the original T-shirt. I acknowledge Stat Boy and his awesomeness, but I'm pretty sure he's right. I was in the middle of a really sweet plug, and I fucking 2034, 8:34. So Mikey was correct, 8:34. So yeah, they're 8 hours ahead. So when we're usually taking the airwaves, they're already asleep. more often than not. So God bless them for that, for sticking with us as long as they have. Because we've had people watch around the world. I mean, God, you look at the old analytics from when I started doing the podcast in 2020, and there were people on. I mean, every corner of the world is a oxymoron because there is no corner on a globe. So it is what it is. But every part of the world was watching me at one point or another, and I can't even my brain doesn't do that level of recognition. That's awesome. So we appreciate it. I know JJ appreciates the damn near seeming immediate turnaround on back-to-back payout months, which as much as we push to get you monetized, neither of us anticipated there'd be a back-to-back payout. Okay, we'll get it, and then we won't.
No.
Yeah.
And as as some of the viewers may know, I did mention it a couple times here. I have a members section now open on my YouTube channel. It is a $4.99 subscription monthly, and you get exclusive content, stuff that the rest of the channel will not be able to get. That's how Arlene's name kind of has that little symbol next to it, because she is a members only subscriber to my channel. She was the first one. Again, thank you, Arlene. For anybody that would like to know more about it, I'm going to run this brief video and then we're going to get out of here, I think. So check this out. This is what you can do and what comes with being a member on the Casa D18 Studios channel. The following is a special announcement from JJ Williams and the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel. Now, in the coming weeks, months, and years, this is where you will find all of my non-archived wrestling content. What I'm going to try to do is review wrestling DVDs, much in the same vein as you will see my movie reviews over on Renegade's Reviews, as well as occasionally discuss the current wrestling product, much like the old school Renegade of Wrestling shows from the early 2010s. This is where you will find all of that content. I'm looking at doing it on Thursdays, as that's usually a dead day here on the channel, with the exception of the Throwback Thursday content that airs on the main Casa D18 Studios side of things. So for $4.99 a month, you guys will get access to all of that wrestling content that'll be coming to you in the coming weeks, months, and years. Those of you that subscribe early, like now, you'll get a few little hot take videos, maybe a surprise secret drop in there. But we're looking to have the content begin going live in July of 2023. First video debuting on July 1st, which is a Saturday, and then every Thursday thereafter, you'll get a brand new video here in the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel. Again, just $4.99 a month. It's a good way for you to show your love, your support. I hear a lot of you guys whispering and talking about how you would like for me to do more wrestling content. This is the way that you prove it. Show that love, show that support. Subscribe for only $4.99 a month, and you get access to videos nobody else will get access to. I thank you guys for watching this brief video explaining to you what's going to be coming up here in the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel over the next coming weeks. And I look forward to your support. Have a great day. As the video was airing, Emmanuel signed up.
Gotta love stuff like that, right?
And no, Carl, it won't be $9.99 after it's aired.
No.
It is going to be $4.99. I can add other levels.
Right.
You know, people that donate $4.99 get this stuff. If you donate $9.99 and subscribe at that level, then you get additional content. It's kind of like a Kickstarter campaign.
Right.
If you buy the bare basement plan, then that's all you get. But for each level, you get additional perks.
Right.
So in time, I may add other levels, bigger perks. But right now, I don't see any reason to go past a $4.99 level. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Especially with only posting once a week.
Right.
In theory, you're paying $1.25 for a video.
Yep.
That's really not that bad when you think about the time it takes me to watch the stuff, take notes of the stuff, film the stuff, and edit the stuff. To pay $1.25 for a video?
Yeah.
So, Emmanuel, thank you for following your sister's lead. Thank you for subscribing and becoming a member. I greatly appreciate that.
Absolutely. Dig it. I dig it, man. Well, it is 20-1 for those of us keeping score at home on the time. Right. Right. Yeah. That's some shit. And I say that not in, anger at Emmanuel. It's like, man, we were on that $9.99 kick with WWE Network for years. And then they moved to Peacock, and it's like, nope, just kidding.
Okay. I see what Carl meant. He says he watches 99.9% of the content after it's aired, like Aaron's show.
Well, yeah, because he's up, he's
got it.
He already CP by. So yeah, that makes total sense. And to be fair, the Thursday content is not live, right?
No, it's going to be.
So, yeah.
I mean, in time, I may do special members only live streams.
Right.
But everything is going to be canned, much like it is for Renegades reviews.
Right.
I actually, for those, well, I'm not going to say for those of you, for Arlene and Emmanuel, who are the only two so far that have subscribed.
So far.
I actually have a Wrestling Warzone episode that I have canned that is going to be getting uploaded here in the next week or so.
Ooh.
Yes.
But
very, very much in the same vein of the regular Warzone episodes where I do, it's the weekly acquisition report where I show off the latest additions to my movie library. The Wrestling Warzone is going to be the latest wrestling DVDs that I have procured. Now, it's not going to be a weekly thing. I don't find wrestling DVDs in the wild as much as I do regular movies. So when I can come upon, 9 or 10 DVDs or Blu-rays to show off,
right,
I'll film an episode of it. I'll upload it. But yeah, so for you two that have subscribed and for anybody else out there contemplating it, be on the lookout for it. That'll be coming up there in the next week or two. The very first episode of the Wrestling Warzone.
I dig those logos, by the way, on that Warzone logo, JJ. Very, very nicely acquired there and put together. Very good stuff.
Thank you. Like I told you in private, I was very much inspired by the Coexist stickers.
Yes.
That are out there with all like the different religious emblems and whatnot.
Yes.
We are wrestling. So you got the WWEW, the AEWA, the Ring of Honor R, the CZWZ, the NWOO, the NXTN, and the ECWE.
I love it.
Make the Warzone logo for the Wrestling Warzone.
Absolutely.
Still keeping a little bit of the film strip reel, like my normal Warzone logo.
Yep. I dig it, man. Like
good shit, pal.
That's good shit. That's good shit. And I can say that because I own the building now.
But yes, we appreciate you guys for joining us and riding with us for this almost 3-hour broadcast. For those of you that missed it all, I was sent this image via Noah.
Okay.
This is everything that happened over the draft.
Goodness gracious.
This is how the rosters now look.
All right. Pretty pretty cut and dry there.
Right? Noah Foster going after Stat Boy's role here with
Seriously.
all of the graphs and the grids and the statistics.
Right? So
For
Braun
he
Breaker
is just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it!
Well, he diagresses. And he bought the shirt, so fall in line with him. Thank you. Appreciate that,
Yes,
girl.
we appreciate that.
You know what though? Not really open mic night. More of let's see, what time is it for? It's happy hour. Is what it's the what do they call the senior citizen the blue plate special hour here on the Jeff Meacham Multiverse Media, complete with the birthday boy since he's damn near senior citizen drink. There you go, 51 years old, The Rock. That's right. Yeah. By the way, where were you during the draft here over the weekend, there, Bray? Seriously, where you at? And yeah, no Bobby. Again, Bobby Roode's another one of those guys that's in question. He'll be back. It's just going to take a minute with the injury and the surgery. So they didn't want to acknowledge it on television because they don't want to point out. Oh, by the way, this guy's fucked up too. Right. Nope. Just kidding.
It's like I'm trying to click the 3 dots so I can delete some of these things, but freaking keeps.
It does it to me. Like it does on the phone more than it does on the computer, but they both do it. It pisses me off.
But anyways, so thank you guys for joining us for this almost 3-hour broadcast. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate the love and the support, the super chats. Emmanuel and Arlene, we appreciate you guys subscribing to the Casa channel, becoming members. Like I said, Wrestling Warzone pilot episode will be dropping in the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, sir?
Stat Boy Sports Bar coming up in just over 3 hours now, I should say. Coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. We'll be talking about all things sports. Depending on how many graphics Jeff can get done in the next 3 hours, because I wasn't expecting to go 3 hours now. So we will Brian Cage this, and we will get it in 7 o'clock, of course. 7:05/10:05 Eastern. We'll be on with Talk Wrestling, and then it's just kind of the rest of the week goes from there. It is May. We are going to be talking about Star Wars quite a bit in our social posts and I'm sure our videos throughout the month.
So this Friday, once again.
It's
not always on wrestling. Top 10 characters from a galaxy far, far away.
And again, I expect it to be hard for me because I haven't watched everything, although I'm like the worst cast member. I should have watched everything by now, but I haven't been. Thank you, Matthew. But the show taping went great. It really did. I enjoyed it, and and
even with trailers, we're under 2 hours.
We're getting our shit in. Now watch, we're gonna do the heel show. It's gonna take like fucking 4 hours. Right. Sit there. This show is forever.
Forever. Right, Natalie? If you're still watching.
Hopefully not, the poor thing. Hopefully she got some rest. But yeah, Star Wars, at least Star Wars week is gonna be fun. And I can't wait to go to the park on the 4th because I've never been. I'm doing these first. I'm going to the park on Mickey's birthday, which I hadn't done before. The only soft spot I have is the fact that I haven't hit his soft head in the head with a bullet yet. I said what I know he's the prototype for Yoda doing the things and whoopee shit, but the character bugs. And if it wasn't for him, there'd be no Clone Wars, and Palpatine wouldn't have taken over the galaxy. So you know what? Piss a little.
Hey, I will give this little spoiler away. Like we see on the show.
Yes.
Worst politician, even worse than Donald Trump. Jar Jar is responsible for starting a war. Trump never did. So do with that as you will.
And with the reference to Orange.
They're pretty neck and neck.
Yeah.
But Jar Jar has to be worse. He actually started a war.
And with the reference to Orange, we will say goodnight. At least for now. But yeah.
Until Stat Boy Sports Bar.
Yes.
Until Talk Wrestling. Until all the other shenanigans across the multiverse of media.
Yes.
We are the West Coast Professor, Jeff motherfucking Meacham.
There it is, early enough in the day.
The Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, in front of Meacham Towers. Thank you guys for tuning in for the third part of the trilogy of WWE Draft coverage. And we will see you guys next time.